order. Won't waste time. Can we get a roll call? Bill?
Sure. Sandy, you are present. Phil is present. Erica.
She texted she's running late, so you'll have
okay.
to tardy.
I'm here. She's late.
Allegedly.
Good evening. And it's again. John's here. John's here. I know who was it. Okay.
I'll kill the
We have
mess.
a quorum.
She's walking in now. So.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, here she is. She's present.
Fashionable.
3 times.
I said fashion.
Okay, thank you. Can we stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 20th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Any questions or comments on additions, deletions, corrections, to the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Do you have any public comments when it's collecting the data? No. Moving on. Agency rules, procedures, and clarifications. We need to get an update on our procedures catalog. This might be a final update.
I think this is the final update. I have to call on my assistant Bill to help me out here. We posted on the website the final product. And I'd like Bill to kind of explain the searchability of it. So if you would do that, that's the big new news. And other than that, what we've got is what we've got. And I want to draw a line tonight and go, in the future, we'll do something else to keep it current, because that's going to be very important. Yeah.
First question, who has read the procedure manual?
The whole
Who is least open to it?
Opened it up.
I've opened it.
Yeah, I'm not,
Fell asleep, but I opened it.
Yeah, you opened it?
I've opened it.
I'm just curious, because again, I mean, a lot of things we do, it's just interesting. Yeah, we don't get engaged very much with reading this stuff. We all have a lot of comments and things like that, but if we're really gonna make this thing work, we really need to take ownership of it. There's a lot of good information inside that procedure manual. Ron identified a ton of stuff, and I'm just not preaching, I'm just saying this is a really good document. But the change control, there's a procedure for change control, and if you want to make a change, you have to make the change and make the right one. There's a form to fill out. Document the form, we keep that form available for public access why the change happened. As a secretary and the records keeper, I'll be happy to do it. We control everything and keep this thing up and going as long as I'm secretary. But the ownership of the changes has to come from within. And if you don't make the changes and you just talk about a motion, that's interesting. But then the next step of the motion is who's going to make the change? Who owns the change? And that has to really be discussed and figured out and really kind of driven through the process. If you open up the the manual, there is an index on the left-hand side. It's a PowerPoint. Everything's linked together. There's pages. There's an issue date. It's going to go from draft to release tonight. When I get home, I'll release it, and Blake will post it on the website tomorrow. There's 200 and some pages of it. 276 pages, I believe. What? Yeah. Well, the lease side of it's over 100 pages. And so if we put the lease inside of that document, there's a lot. Section 4 is all our procedures. So every time there is a procedure side of it, we're going to drive it. Now, if you go on the left-hand side, there's bookmarks. If you're used to PDF files, there's bookmarks. You got the major chapters, you just index down to chapter 4, you'll see exactly what's there, click it, and it automatically opens up that document, right to that page. So the key is following the workbooks. You don't have to go through all the pages. All you have to do is look at the index. If you're looking for a procedure, go to section 4. Click on section 4, there's an index right there, just look at it. That's the one I want to talk to. Change control, just hit it, it's right there. You can print those 2 pages. So it's very straightforward, but are you used to bookmarks at all through the PDF files? If you're used to it, it's very straightforward. If you're not used to it, you gotta hover on the left-hand side of the screen, and I've got a copy of it. I mean, I can show it to you. I don't know, Lois, do you have a way to show that on the screen or something, or no?
Oh, we turned things around tonight because we figured we didn't need the projector, I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
can show
it
you.
is what it is.
Can you get-
So,
Okay. That's an easy day on.
I mean, if you can get it on, I've got it, if you wanna see it. I mean,
You're pulling
I
up the
can show it.
fix the website?
That's really, I thought we were gonna have it, but regardless, we've set it up so that on the website, you go
No problem.
to identifier that says documents, and you open that up, and it is there and available. And it will be basically frozen in that. People they can look at it, but they can't change it.
Yeah, read it.
If you open it up, on the left-hand side, it's like a 2-page view. On the left-hand side is a table of contents, an index, whatever you want to call it. If you click on an item in that area, it will take you into the main document, which is, as Bill says, somewhere between 150 and 200 pages. I still want to squeeze that down to 150, but regardless, right now, if it's in the index, you can go there, you and the public can go there and look at it and see what our policies are. And there's a lot of information in the book separate from our policies. There's the founding documents, there's the employee manual, which we are coordinating with Beth, HR. When she updates the policy book, it'll be updated here. And then the next section are things that apply basically to how PHCSA conducts its business and how it interacts with each other and entities, and in some cases the wider public and all of that. But all of that is shown in this table of contents, is what I'm calling it. It's probably something else. But if you go there, you'll see everything, every heading that is covered in the bigger book. And you can click on that and go over there and see the details. So, if you think back to 6 months ago when Eric and I were having discussions about what is the policy about, now, if she can name the policy and we have one that we've identified, you can go to it and read it. And so we'll no longer be in the dark about that. And this whole process started because we were either relying on the attorney's memory or our own memory, our own meeting debate. And so we don't have to do that anymore. If we've identified it and included it in here, you can go to it and you can read what the board says we want to do. The board can obviously change its mind at any time in a meeting, vote on it, and then I've determined that I think the secretary should be in charge of keeping it updated because I'm going to be gone eventually, and the secretary, whoever the secretary is a constant, and that will be important. And that person works for the minutes every month and knows what has been determined in our meeting. And so it'll be pretty easy to transfer that over if a new policy has been created or an old policy has been changed. And what it does, it brings constancy to what we're doing. And it'll no longer be, oh, I think I remember that 3 years ago. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't, and maybe you're remembering it to help your cause. So it will take some of that stuff out of it. So that's the deal. I thought we were gonna be able to show you, but
We can if you want.
Yeah, well,
It's okay, it's on our.
it's
It's on our
it's on the thing.
It's on the
Right
website.
now on my
Yeah.
phone.
Okay, it's on your phone or your
Go
computer.
to fix it, go to, no, it's just a manual. Oh,
Okay. So we.
Resource
you-
library.
we sent the thing out
And then the
a
second.
month
There you
ago,
go.
and
That's what
now
he's talking
we
about.
sent the new version, which has this search and find
Oh.
option. So, listen, this is not the final moment.
Yeah, that's it.
The board can look at it and say, I hate the whole thing. Ron?
No.
Get out of here, we're gonna give this to somebody who knows what they're doing. Or we can go, we need to make this little change or this little change or anything. But this gives us a place to start. And certainly going forward, we'll be able to capture all of any changes that are made or any new policies that are developed. And it'll all be right there in one place. A bunch of the other material we put in there is just a convenient way for all of us to be able to find the founding documents, the bylaws, what the county expects of us when they appoint us to these kind of committees. And then we also have a section for each of the entities so that we get their bylaws, we get their friends' bylaws, we don't have it yet, but we're gonna get their information about their foundation so that one time you can pick up this manual and know all of that. And this manual is what is gonna be online. And you can flip through the pages here, or you can go online and you can pick the topic that you're interested in. And if we keep the two together, then we're good, in my opinion. And so,
For some reason, you're just not seeing.
I'll be honest, I'm tired of it, I wanna pass it off, because I think it's done. And I think
I don't
we-
see
You're
the
gonna hang left, you're gonna pull the whole document to the left. It should come up, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. All I'm getting is just, all I'm getting is just that.
So it's gotta be in a PDF format, so if you have a computer with PDF,
Oh, you have to download it.
you get a download.
Yeah, on your phone, you may not have to.
You may not have PDF.
Right, and I will admit that the indexing, which is what I'm calling it, the indexing is brand new to me, and we'll make sure that it works and that not only you, but the public will be able to go in there and click on that, and it'll be an exact mirror of what we're doing.
Question, Madam Chair.
Sure.
I'm wondering what the value is to maintain a paper copy and a virtual copy. And the only reason I say that is it's been my experience when staff tries to maintain multiple locations of a document, they don't all get maintained the same. So I don't know what the attorney's thinking, or my thinking would be to maintain the virtual copy so that it's.
need.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Because most of us come with some kind of
There's a
electronic
disclaimer at the bottom of it, to always go to the virtual copy to make sure you're using the latest version. So even if you've got a manual copy.
Yeah.
The burden's on.
No, I'm trying to make your job easier. Shh.
No, it's going, the burden's on you to make sure you go. and-
I just think one copy is the best to maintain ever.
Everyone, almost.
Especially
all of us have some
policies.
kind of electronic.
And everything's data on the bottom, I'm sorry.
Okay, cause the one I got, you saw what I got a whole bunch of things, and so is there a way that I can have, or I guess all of us, if you want, I like paper copies, so I'd like one paper copy, is that possible to get, cause it's like 200 pages?
Well, I'll would like to see the downloading side of it, and again, is that something you want us to provide, or is that something you just want to get the link and you just print your own out?
I mean,
We can print it.
I would like
We can
it
take care of that.
printed,
That's
if
easy.
possible, cause what I have is, it wasn't helpful.
Well, it's obsolete now because things
Yeah.
have changed.
Everything that
Yeah.
you received, right, as Eric said, is obsolete. This
Yeah.
is now
And I
what
don't
the
need like
new
the,
is.
the documents of like how this came about, those ones, I just want the update of the policies of
You just want a portion of it.
or, yeah, so maybe just sections of it would be helpful. Cause I already have the other ones printed out.
Right, and remember, we're capturing the HR's employee manual. That's for the process of updating that, and when that changes, we want that to be reflected on the website. So, Erica, you're right that needs to be the golden copy.
Let the minutes reflect that, Bill. Ron said Erica was right.
Erica, let me
Whatever. He didn't say C or K, so, you know.
Just kidding. I really want clarity and us to be able to be predictable. And when we ask these questions, we quite honestly wasted a good bit of time in meetings trying to figure out what the board policy was. We want that to go away. And if you all choose the electronic copy as the golden ticket, that's fine with me. There are people who want.
But they can do a public records request, right, Andy, if they wanted to print it out?
And they can print it directly
You're
off the
not
website.
obligated, you're not obligated to provide this in any format whatsoever.
Just has to be accessible?
Unless somebody asks for it.
I'm not talking about the public, I'm talking about Erica and Sandy.
Well, you can provide it internally,
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's
but
I just think maintaining
it's nice
multiple
to have the
copies
public
is-
to have access, but you're not obligated.
That's changed. I would tell the public it's online and figure it out.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
board members who feel they want a paper copy, we should get one done. So we can do that.
I have a suggestion to get to your 150 pages. Take chapter 114 and only take out those sections that relate to PHCSA, because what do I care about flipping through this about setting up an MSTU within East Lake Tarpon Fire Control District?
That's something.
I understand it's the county,
Version, the new one's already taken on that.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
taking that out because.
that's what's online right now,
Okay, here's what I
They
want.
can
Okay.
update it then.
Okay.
So that's the only version.
which is probably why the links aren't working.
Maybe.
That could be it.
114 says
Bet you
that the legislature or somebody said Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners can create this district. And underneath that, they're supposed to hire a nonprofit quickly to administer it on their behalf.
Well, not hire, we're supposed to contract with.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, contract with. And is there a contract on this?
Probably not.
Okay. Mr. Attorney, help me.
That was before me.
All right, and then they created a MSTU district, which is sort of different from all of what we're doing, where they spend county money to give unincorporated areas some of the benefits that they would get if they were in a city provided by the county. And then they break down and they get one for the recreation, for the library, for the other library, and for the other recreation. And those are the ones that we're gonna put on there. We have the Seminole Recreation District, we have the Lellman stuff, and we're taking all that out. It's still out there and it's the law, but it doesn't apply to us. So we're gonna make that just about our area.
Right.
I thought we already had that. So
We don't need that.
dig down on
We don't,
it.
we don't need to have any of that.
Yeah, they pulled that
That's
out,
not-
they pulled that out, like you said, I'm on the old ones.
Yeah, and we've got fire control districts, we don't care about that.
Right.
Except the boundaries of the fire control districts determine the districts that the library covers. So, when we clean this up, it will be, you can go there and you will find out everything you need to know. And not just you, but any citizen who wants to do that too.
So Ron, can I ask just a specific question? You can direct me how I would find it. Where do I go? Where do I click when it takes me to the amount of money that they have to ask for approval. The threshold.
That's in your bylaws, so you can.
It's a bylaw thing?
It's in your bylaws.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I believe the county 716 also.
No, where we said we can, if they can spend up to $10,000. It used to be 5, now it's 10,
That's a fixer rule.
but it's not a resolution.
It's not a resolution, it's in the bylaws, if it needs to be a resolution. it can
There are a couple of other questions like that I mean, one of the things that you hear at these meetings all the time is that one of the FICSA main purposes is to hire and fire directors. I can't find anything that says that.
You know, the county is very specific in responsibilities they've given us, and that's very defined beyond what that, but hiring and firing is not specific. Now, we can put that into the bylaws, there's nothing preventing us, but we just have to amend our bylaws and add that as a specific item within the bylaws, then we'd be fine with it. And we just have to ratify that.
And so, obviously, I want the book to be a closed issue because it is what is the current situation. I think some clarification on things, and that's only important because it comes up in every meeting. What does FICSA do? Well, we check the finances and we hire and fire directors.
The other thing, if I could, I worked with Beth this afternoon on the onboarding. That policy was back a year and a half ago. There was nothing available to it. And she pulled it out of someplace, and I think she called you, Andy, or the office down there, and she was working with you guys. So we've got those. I gotta update those before I go live with it, because there was 2 other policies, one for volunteers,
So-
one for employees.
Are
And when
you
talk
saying it
about
doesn't
that-
say hire or fire? You're saying it does not say hire or fire?
Say that.
Page 4 of 193 says the agency is responsible for the management of all library and recreation department funds and hires the director of the Palm Harbor Library, East Lake Community Library, East Lake Recreation, CSA Palm Harbor.
Well, damn, Phil.
No, but I know
Why
we found
not?
it is there.
Hey, that book was well done, good job, guys.
What page was that?
What page was that?
Very good.
Page is it?
Oh, I'm down in 190s already.
It's in here, but you can find the backup documents.
I've spent my
Well,
time in one
there
page.
may not be backup documentation, remember the county created.
It's page 4. It's
Yeah.
the page 4. I mean, I was just looking for the county resolution and I came upon founding documents, standard of
It's a
conduct.
founding document.
And it's the very first page of the founding documents. Then it goes into special districts. I didn't even get into that, but I mean, I'm assuming the founding document was written by somebody like you or me and wrote it based on their knowledge, not anything special.
I think this founding documents were superseded by PHCSA in 2016.
I would certainly like the attorney to say.
I mean,
I
you get, there is some additional duties. It's a little funky the way, it's written from the county because the county kept powers and duties of the Board of Commissioners for the county to handle FICSA. But it's assumed that those powers that they had are powers that you have because that's the powers to run this particular agency. So if you look at Pinellas County Ordinance 114-215, it talks about powers and duties of the Board of Commissioners as if they were running the entity.
Right.
And that is standard stuff, established by resolution, reasonable rules and regulations for the operations, acquired by gift, lease or purchase, equipment, real property, employ such personnel that are deemed necessary to implement and operate programs, make or enter into contracts. These are all standard things that any kind of district would do. They just kept that particular duty, but earlier on said in the same thing that they're contracting with a nonprofit to do the things that they would do. So you kind of have to make sure that you read the Pinellas County ordinance with this, and that establishes the duties.
And that's what we spent some time in 114, which is the county commission. The legislature created these districts and gave them to the county commissioners. The county commissioners are expected to hire a nonprofit or to whatever the attorney just said, a nonprofit, a contract with a nonprofit to carry out the duties that the county commission is able to do under the legislation.
And that actually, thanks for pointing that out, because that actually clarifies it, because I thought that first outcome was just found, and I thought it was 17, I thought it was just obsolete at that point in time when you found the new one. But if these are kind of a handshake, transcending responsibilities between, I mean, that's, you're absolutely right, we do have the right to hire a lawyer based on that document. So good. If there's things missing procedurally or rules or policies, again, you know, when we've captured everything, I think up to this point, there may be a handful of things we've missed. If there's anything that we've missed that's burning, please let Ron or myself know, and then we'll, if we can't find it, then we may have to bring it back here for discussion, just to make sure we get the verbiage correct on it, but, yeah, thank you.
And Phil, it would be extremely helpful if you were to write an email to whoever, including everybody, and just tell you what you just discovered, that I did this.
I'll get that to you by next November, 2026.
He's leaving.
That's good enough for me.
Did you get this?
I'll do that.
Did you get the, did you find all this information?
I did, I know where it's at, I will look at it, and I will just make sure that verbiage is great. Should we highlight that in the bylaws?
Let's not mess with the bylaws.
Yeah, I know.
Let's get this thing framed up and put in place. When can we be sure that everybody on this board can go into the website and find this, including the indexing that I think is pretty powerful?
I will get with Blake, and, I don't have a problem with my computer at home, but I'm using Adobe. If you don't have Adobe on your computer, that may be an issue for this, because again, phones don't have Adobe.
Right, but also, we have the old version that's available on the website, so there may be the indexing issue.
Right.
That could be it, because I've gone to PDF documents on my phone before,
Yeah.
and I can index
Yeah.
without a problem. So that's why I'm thinking it's just the old document that wasn't indexed.
It looks like it has all the
Correct.
stuff in it.
I will get with Blake in the morning, I gotta be at the library anyway, so what we'll do then, I'll see if he's available tomorrow, and if not, I'll make an appointment with him, and we'll just test it out to make sure it works properly. And then the only other question I had, again, you said something, that this document is not open to the public, because right now,
No, I said it doesn't have to be.
okay, because the way we have it on our website, we've got the 4 entities, on our website, links to then we've got the top section of where that document would be.
Oh, yeah, there's no problem doing it. I'm just saying from a legal perspective, somebody asked.
Then they can get it.
Okay,
Right.
no, I got you. I just wanted to make sure.
No, you absolutely can. Yeah. You just don't have to.
We wanted it available to the public.
I did.
To the degree we can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we upload this latest procedure manual online, fix the website for publication.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Am I allowed,
Aye.
am I allowed to look important?
No.
Opposed?
Could be a contractual violation.
Well, put it in and.
I'd also like to make a motion that we adopt this procedure for all changes going forward to the fixing manual that is now available.
Second.
Any discussion about how this?
What's a procedure?
This is the procedure for us to follow to make any changes to the document and our rules, bylaws, everything.
Okay, and so who's filling it out?
Whoever wants to change.
Nope, nobody's filling it out. Dan said,
Employees, entities, or any of us can make that change. We're making a recommendation for a change, we're not implementing it. We approve the changes by majority vote, that's the way the thing's written.
So we bring a motion to the board
Yes.
tonight of something that, does that institute a document change control?
that's what you're asking.
My motion is to make this.
Yes, that's all. It's going to
Right.
this is
And so that's the question I'm asking. So we make a motion tonight that the library is gonna be closed December 73rd or something like that? Does that have to be done, does that have to be documented? No, it's just a,
Let me,
just
let
in
me
the
talk
minutes.
through this and only take a minute. The idea is, in the last couple of years while I've been here, more than once, there's been a discussion going on about something, and all of a sudden, Ron says, I'll make a motion that which is a creation of a new policy. And if there's a second and we do it, it's there. But we haven't been able to keep track of that, and then 6 months from now, we really don't remember how that went, and I had to go back with the help from Dan and some other people to the minutes for 5 years back or more and say, what did they mean when they said that? What this does is say, if you want to change the policies of PHCSA, fill this out, bring it to a board meeting, the board considers it, and then it goes forward as a change, but it will probably take 2 meetings instead of 1. And that's what most cities do, and that's what the county does, and that's what most deliberative bodies do. You don't just, on the spur of the moment, change the whole direction of the organization without some cooling off time and getting all the ducks in a row. This will help do that.
And if it's a new procedure coming into the process, I'm keeping the motion says this is the new rule procedure we're gonna do. And I would fill out the form. I would make an attempt to capture the spirit of what we discussed in this meeting. And I would bring it to the next meeting and we would say either yay or nay to that verbiage.
Phil, go to page
And I would put it as part of the
146
agenda that this is the
of the
new
current
procedure.
document on the website. And I'm using this as an example for everyone too, is that, you know, audio videoing of the PHCSA board meeting, right? It's 2000-100, okay? So if I wanted to make a change to this, and 2 changes, by the way, have already been made, and they've been documented that those changes were made. I would fill out this form, copying the policy I want to change, making any, discussing it. If it passes, it then goes to Bill or the secretary, who then would change the read-only document to with that change and then issue dates, and so you have the proper history, and then you see it. That's what this form is for.
Exactly.
I'm not against the form, don't get me wrong, I was just asking what we're gonna use it for, if it's gonna slow down anything that we vote on in a meeting, and I'm assuming it will not, so I'm
It
fine.
won't slow down, it's just a process.
I'm
Make
fine,
sure
I
it's
think,
captured.
Ron, I mean,
That's
what you have done here is something, you know, we brought it up in numerous meetings, we go, well, who remembers the, you know, I think did we change, or no, it was Rex. Rex said, no, it wasn't Rex, it was, and that's,
Probably right.
it was
I'm
probably
blaming
Rex.
everything on Rex.
He's not here.
It's funny you say it, the onboarding is a good example. I spent an hour and a half going back through all the minutes to zero, and this is what the data was. I never found a policy or procedure rule, whatever we came up with it at all.
Yeah, but I'll wait till this is live, because I just went through the whole bylaws, I see $10,000 nowhere in there.
It's not in there for example.
Right.
So it's something that would need to be
Yeah, we gotta do
added.
that.
It's just, that's one little thing, it's one thing.
But listen,
let's not go down that rabbit hole.
what we're trying to do tonight is set up the process
I agree.
to make this work going forward.
Any other questions or discussions?
There's a motion on the floor.
I know there is.
We're calling with it.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we do.
Who's in charge of doing this, the person that's making the change?
The secretary.
You can come in with red line changes in that form, would be the easiest way to do it, because then we know exactly the verbiage you're looking for. If we discuss it in here, I will document the best I can, I'm gonna bring it to the next meeting, present that. If people will pick up on it, then we'll say either yay or nay to my verbiage, or this is the new verbiage, and we'll have to wait another month before we correct this.
And when you're saying you, we're saying secretary,
Yeah,
whoever.
and the secretary, if you look at the job description,
It's built
I am the record
forever.
keeper. I'm the record keeper, so based on job description, I'm not trying to give myself anything, don't control financial records. I control the other records for PHCSA.
Right.
And that's the only reason I'm calling on linking that to the secretary's position, because I am the record keeper, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not sure if I was signed up for that.
Any
but
of
I'm on
us-
the record.
Any other discussion on the adoption of this? Okay. All in favor of adopting this
Aye.
change one?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so
Who
this
seconded
will be,
it? I'm sorry.
I did.
Oh, thank you.
that'll be an official change.
My question is, who may request a change? Is it a board member, a staff
Board
member?
member, employee, legal representative, entity director.
Oh, okay.
It's actually in the.
Evidently, it must say that somewhere I know.
Right, us non-board members didn't get the.
Yeah.
You didn't get the
now.
paper?
I just got it now.
Oh,
5.1.
I apologize.
Okay.
But I would assume the
Well,
employees.
you know
would
what,
go
Ron,
to
we're
the-
not giving it to you guys.
Well, one thing we guys really thank Ron and Bill for all the work they
Thank
do.
you very much.
It really is.
Thank
There's a lot of
Absolutely.
work. It's something good to have going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, moving down
Go
to.
ahead. So-
Just 6B, we put on advising the board and share issues that come up amongst the entities. It's nothing we can vote on, just want to bring it up. I also, we said the thing that we have a gentleman who's quite upset and went to the county commission more than once. And, when do we hear about it? We heard about it from the county commission. That's how it got convinced to us. So what I thought, I had a long discussion, Matthew and I talked about, when did the board need to know, when they don't? And we're trying to find that happy medium. We don't wanna know every little problem that happens, but if something's going to escalate to the county and to the commissioners before it blows up, or, when should and who should be notified? It's just a question I'm throwing out there to the board. Should the chair be notified? Should an email be sent to all the board members just saying, hey, this is going on, just in case you need to know? How do you, just want to throw the question out to the board, because I got hit with an email from one of the county commissioners and I had no clue what it was about. I had to scramble around to try to find, what they were talking about, because I didn't know. And I just want to know how you all feel about
Yeah, and
When
just,
should we know? And
just
I know
adding,
you dealt with that.
just adding a touch to that, if you look at our employee handbook, under harassment and violence for the employees, there is a point that after there is an escalation to fix them. And it's
For an
rated-
employee though.
That's in the
For an
employee,
employee.
yeah, that's employee harassment, that would not be patron employee
I'm not saying
harassment.
just harassment, there could be other
No,
issues.
It's
I think the
different in
problem
that
is
sense.
a entity director, and, we've had situations in the past with problem patrons that we've trespassed, is we don't know until after the fact who they go to and who they complain to. I've received calls from Cheryl Morales, because they think she's my boss at PPLC,
Right.
about, that they were charged for a damaged book, okay? But, that's part of the problem. We don't know where this patron has gone with the situation, and how they presented it to either the county commissioners or to the head of PPLC, whatever. But, I've never had a situation that has gone to the county commissioners that I'm aware of. But, my advisory board was informed when there was a problem.
The world's getting different.
Yeah.
And we need to be.
Madam Chair, if I could.
Yeah.
I sat down with Matthew after you sent your emails out and that, and we went over the whole situation. And while as a board member, I don't feel like the directors need to tell us about each and everything. You never know what's gonna happen. However, as Lois just pointed out, if somebody goes above you to the PPLC,
Yeah, we don't.
at that point in time, I would think a courtesy email to the chair would be necessary in that sense. So if somebody goes above you, if the person that was trespassed is sending you harassing emails,
Of course.
absolutely you wanna bring the chair involved. I mean, from talking with Matthew, everything was done in accordance with county protocol.
Yeah.
Talked to the sheriff's department, everything was done the way it was supposed to be done. The sheriff's
Yeah, 'cause
department
they issued
has
the
to issue the
trespass.
trespass.
Yeah.
So that's why.
That's the way it's done.
So I mean, yeah.
But that would be anybody who gets trespassed.
No,
No,
You wanna know about it.
You wanna know about each and every person that's trespassed from you
We've been
because.
trespassed a fair number.
Well, a simple
Exactly.
email though, if it's going to be out there in the public in a newspaper or something like, I think.
Usually when we
it's
have
important to
something
be
like
aware
that,
of.
everybody's made aware, but some of these are simple trespass, you call the sheriff, they come out.
Commissioner Eggers
They are
isn't
required.
here right now. He was gonna come, I guess something came up. BJ Yeah. So I asked him, he was at our previous meeting we just had, and I asked him about, what did you think? He said, what? Well, he told me he didn't really know that much about it.
Who's he?
Commissioner Eggers.
Well, because he probably pushed it back to Matthew.
Well, yeah,
He
his,
pushed it to me.
yeah, I know, but it wasn't in the forefront. To him, it was another complaint
Right.
amongst the thousands that he gets every day from his, constituents. So they go straight to him if there's a problem. So I agree, I read, and I know Matthew did everything he was supposed to do correctly.
Right.
And if he does that, that's his job. It's not our job. That's his job. Do we need to know about it? Not really. Do we need to know about it once it goes to the commissioner? Then the commissioner did the right thing. Let Sandy know. Then what did Sandy do? Let us know. So I think it went through the right channels. I mean, I don't
I just
agree.
don't know,
At
I don't
first I
know how to prevent it
Because
from
there was
happening.
crosstalk
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, because I didn't understand it at first. I thought, holy crap, what is
Right,
this?
right,
And
that's
then
what I
I
thought
thought,
first, but I
"Oh,
think,
this worked out right."
the directors are smart individuals.
Right.
There's probably situations that happen, not every day, but often,
Sure.
that we've never heard of,
Yep.
never will, and shouldn't. They're handling it, they're professionals, they're adults, they know what to do.
Exactly.
But if there's smoke, call the fire department, that's you. At least let the fire department know, hey,
That's what the
there might be
weird,
some smoke.
I think it's up
As
to
soon as
us.
you know, if it's PPLC first, if it's the commissioners, there's nothing you can do.
Well,
But
that's,
as long as you react quickly and you go, hey, this is one of the situations, again, relying on your intelligence and credibility and professionalism as a director of one of our entities.
that's why I wanted to bring it here, because I think it's our job as a board to let the directors know, where do we think that, right, we don't wanna know every problem, no.
Yeah, it's just,
When-
Well,
Where's the
it's gotta
spot
be
where-
discretionary.
Right.
We've had situations where,
well, I was thinking
We've brought
Andy
it
and
up
Larry
in the-
Rose at
Right.
Sports. I mean, that could have gone to
We know
God
that.
knows where.
We know that.
Yeah, because he can't go fix a meeting, but, as I sit here thinking, we have a guy right now, he's up north now, but he'll be back, that's upset about the dust at Putnam. And he's complained to me, he sent me emails, he's called. Yeah, exactly, Mark, you know what I'm talking about, we had a guy looking at porn and we trespassed him on a, public computer, so for me
we
as
did it at the
director,
library, we've done it at the library.
I'm confused, not confused, but to Ron's point, when do we escalate? How do you know, like, when I trespassed that guy looking at porn, and he emails Dave Eggers the next day, and then Dave calls you, to me, it's done when we trespassed him. So I think when you thought it was probably done at that point, not knowing, maybe this guy with the dust at Putnam's gonna go to the county, maybe. And then it's gonna come back to this
Well,
board,
right.
but
Didn't Larry Rose go to the county?
I know he came to the fix board meeting, because we kicked him out of a meeting. Yeah.
So just to build up Ron's brilliant analogy, you're asking us to define what smoke is.
Well,
Right.
And that's very gray.
Right.
wait.
But
We're
why don't we
asking who to
just-
define that?
What
Us?
up to the directors to define that, but us to say, give an example, I think a simple way is, if there's a lawsuit mentioned where this board's gonna get sued, that should come to.
Amen.
So that's the language.
As a technicality, you don't get sued.
If we get sued.
The county
Okay.
No,
gets
but
sued.
even.
If A&E has to get involved.
Right.
Because there's legal matter.
Well, but, and don't forget this, let's just assume that there's a trespass or something that's mentioned to your advisory board, right? When we have a member of this board at
Right.
the advisory board meeting.
That's the reason,
So
right?
that's another person who would say, okay, we should bring this, let's fix it now. So we have people from the board that's aware of these things that are going on.
And I'll add to everything, because I think, what Sandy brings up, and even what you were kind of hinting at, I think a little bit, Erica, occasionally it might just be nice to have the FYI. I'd say in this case, I think it would have been probably a good idea for me to do an FYI earlier. And I think that's a good idea. I don't know, I think it might be a judgment call.
It's a judgment. It
And
is.
so I would agree with some additional FYIs when there's something particularly concerning or it's been elevated in some way. Now, I won't say everything that goes to PPLC definitely needs to come here, because sometimes it really is just superfluous, but
Makes sense.
I could see how this one would make sense, where it probably would have made more sense to do it as an earlier FYI.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't think it was gonna go to the commission, just because he's a special kind of person.
And that's kind of a judgment.
I think a judgment call, if the board is asking you to make a judgment call and do that FYI from time to time, I think that's fine.
Well, the other conversation we had when we were discussing this was making sure when something like that goes on, you notify your other directors, because some people
Oh,
are
yeah,
just
we always
crazy.
do that.
You know,
Yes.
let them know that this person's
We
up
have
there
had
and
situations like that where,
Where
you
you
know,
know,
we
let
have
each other
always
know.
told the others because,
Just the whole thing, just, and we talked about that when I was talking about it, making sure that, you know, each of you let the other people know.
Right.
And we've done that when we've had somebody,
Always,
you know,
Yeah, it's
with a
important.
picture up at our place, we tell them to come to our
Yes.
library because we're in such close proximity.
But don't be sending them to the other.
No, that's
Oh,
not fair.
yes. No?
Right, to be clear to the library.
Have you gone to see Mark over in East Lake?
Library doesn't
Very
share.
cool.
Honest-
We want
honest
people to
Dusty
go
over
see
there.
Mark. Not for that though, joking.
So I live down the street.
But I think it's-
An alcohol treatment center, so I get my share of them.
I'm sure you do.
But I think it's fair to say, we leave it up to the directors to make that call at their discretion, and they would just notify the chair. And especially in a situation like this where Commissioner Eggers was involved, Sandy's the one who's gonna be responding anyways on behalf of FICSA, so she would talk to Matthew, which she did. And then she replied appropriately to Commissioner Eggers, and then if it's in the middle of two meetings, you just report on it at the next meeting.
Well,
Like what you're gonna talk about tonight on this
and I think
particular
the point
situation.
is that when it gets involved in the county commissioner level, that is something that I think you all want to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's going to the county commission,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so that's, I think definitely you should have information, just so you know, this issue was raised,
FYI.
and this is so when somebody asks you, you know what's going on.
Right, and I think my mind was going back like as a boss, you know, if I have anything going on at my job and I'm like, oh, my boss is gonna hear about this sort of thing, like, give them a heads up that it's coming,
Right, well,
possibly.
to hear your side
Cause it,
before they hear
yeah,
the other side.
absolutely, and I think it's just communication, like, that's basic.
But it's a judgment call, right?
But
It's
it's
a
just
judgment
a
Err
call.
on the side of caution.
Right, it's risen to a level where it
Yes.
could get out there versus
Yes.
something that you normally do that has nothing to do with that, right?
You don't know sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't.
It's a
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
it is, some of it's judgment.
Right.
And can I also add, I feel like it shouldn't just go to the chair if it's a big deal, I think it needs to go to
Oh,
the
no,
whole
it should
board.
go to everybody.
Why
Yeah.
would
It
just
should, it should go to the
one person?
board.
But it needs to be
for
addressed to
informational
the
purposes.
chair, and then the chair puts it out to the board.
I don't think so, I think it's easy
'Cause
for
I think
them to
it's-
have conversations
you
with
guys.
us.
Yeah, the only reason it came to me, it came
It
to
came
me
to you
from.
from the chairman, or
From the
from the-
commissioner's
yeah.
office.
Well, and what if you're on vacation, or what if you're tied up for a day or two, you're not feeling good, or whatever. I think it's just good for communication, it's not like we're gonna go telling everybody about it, you know,
Yeah,
like.
when I spoke with Commissioner Eggers, he said, well, he said, I think it'd be better to be dealt with at the fixed board level. I said, that sounds good. If you wanna send that email and then I can just answer any questions that Sandy has. And that's what he did, and then I emailed Sandy to let me know if he had any questions, and that's what we did. So-
Well, whatever the pleasure of the board is, we can blind copy all of you, it doesn't take us that, I mean, if,
Yeah, it's
We're
just
gonna-
one extra.
yeah, I mean, Andy, I take the lawsuit that, just came across my desk today, that was from last year, that has gone nowhere.
I mean, there was no reason to say anything because we said it's a nothing thing. Now it potentially could be, so now we would inform you.
Right, it's just,
Still nothing.
Well, I
It
think
is.
what I'm
Screw it,
thinking
Andy.
is that there could be notifications that are for your information only, no action required.
Right.
Until it gets
Well,
more serious than that, but at least you would see it coming and the board would not be blindsided.
And Ron, good point, but it is all for informational purposes only. And I think we have to remember in those situations, if you have a question, to contact that director directly. Because we don't want to get caught where somebody makes a mistake and responds, and then now we've.
That's why I said blind copy.
Right.
Yes.
We don't
So you
want to
can't
have
respond to all.
a sunshine.
Oh, no, you
violation.
can on a blind copy. I've had it done to me before.
I've never replied to all.
Not in this situation, but if you're blind copied, you can't hit reply all, and it does go out.
Yeah, I think it has to just put on all those,
Right.
please, if you have any questions, contact, whoever sends it
I'll
out
put myself
directly. That's all we want, and that's just a general reminder.
okay, so I think we're good.
Yeah, the only other comment, be real careful with the confidentiality of the people's names throughout this whole process, because again, if, it's guilt, innocent, it's whatever, there's one or two people involved that will be real careful with making sure their names are redacted or whatever you want to call it, as best you can. I don't know if what do you think?
No, you can do that, let's just say, all right, you Joe Blow did something and you just say, we had an incident at the library with some patron did X, Y, and Z. If somehow I'm a resident and I get a hold of that, I could probably go to Matthew and do a public records request and ask for the name of the person. But it's an effort that I have to do. You don't have to share that. There's no, again, no obligation under the law that you have to say who that person's name.
Yeah, that's good, yeah. Thank you.
Are we ready for the treasurer's report? We get a motion to hear the treasurer's report. Get a motion for the treasurer's report.
Sure. Motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Second.
Really?
Now we're gonna get it. Then we can discuss it.
Don't we usually get it? Did we make the motion over?
That's usually that's what I was thinking too, but either way. Financials are out, went through them with, our, accountant, everything is looking good on the books. Shelby did make a, identification on this, hopefully is the last of it.
The
How do I-
$50.
The fee, yeah, alright, so the employee portion of Beth's and Blake's insurance was not being deducted from the total bill. And all entities were being billed for the total amount of the bill minus the deductions. Anyways, Shelby caught it, has gone through and sent it out. The math is right. I did talk to her a couple of times, or today about it for about a half an hour. The math's right on it, so she's gonna pick that up.
It's already been picked up.
It's already been picked, perfect. And then I did also, on a side note, I did also speak to her, for something to think about prior to open enrollment, is possibly instead of benefits being pulled for 26 weeks, have it only pulled for 24. Yes, it'll be a little bit more on each paycheck, but for 2 paychecks, there will be no deduction, but it'll also help on the accounting side, because now you're only accounting for 4 withdrawals a month versus possibly 3 or however many. We're dealing with two withdrawals a month versus 2 times a month, 2 times a year being 3. It becomes an accounting nightmare. So that's the reason why. But again, that's just a thought process. Once we get closer to that decision, we can have that discussion with the directors, and if you guys are for it, that can make the change. But that was my report.
Do we have anything on AC?
Oh my God, you took my question. I raised my hand.
I already
I'm
had
sorry.
that question asked me, and yes, we do. We're gonna get, I did talk to Pierre last week. We're going to get that reinitiated again, and the training will be scheduled soon.
What is soon though, John? Honestly, this is ridiculous.
I know, I mean, I
I'm blaming you,
understand.
I'm blaming South Fork or whatever they're called now.
Katie, or
Or
whatever.
Cadence, whatever they were
Yeah,
called.
they're well, but remember, they had everything else screwed up. Now that we have everything correct, now we can actually start moving forward. But I had wanted to deal with the other issues first before we get to this, because now I can focus my time. It's on me, I'm gonna take that heat. Blame me.
No, I just know how quickly it went with another financial institution that I serve on their board, and they're already doing ACHs for almost a year already.
I know, but the banking was set up properly with Palm Harbor Fire, where it was
I
not
didn't
set
name
up.
any agencies.
I did, but it was not set up properly with Vixen. So now it is, and everyone's got the access they need.
Now, I don't know.
Other than fees, because I've got to look on that. And please, directors, take a look at your fees that you've been paying this year. I'd like to have a conversation with each 4 of you about that. Because if our fees are getting outrageous, and we need to look at a different situation.
Well, Susan Luca's waiting at South State, waiting for the call.
She got us the
I,
tables first.
I have a recommendation just for the treasurer. I'm excited that the 4 entities are using Raymond James. I would like to, I would recommend that you or this board talk to Raymond James associate there, that's handling it. Let them know that our secondary objective is getting high interest. Our primary objective is protecting the money. Because he might forget that we're a nonprofit and that we don't want to go above the $250,000 even though we can get 3 times the interest. He may not know that that's our primary objective.
Okay.
And, because they're probably used to, I'm guessing, for-profit people, individuals, so.
Well, you've had you're over that anyway, so it doesn't matter. But do they have government, I'll talk.
Just so we do
You send me over his info.
our job as a board to talk directly with them, so that it's not lost in telephone.
Sure. I
Are
can
all
do
those accounts set up now?
They are set up, I
Ready to
think.
go?
I mean, Mark is
You're all
still the
set up.
controller.
Okay.
Just have one person left to do the sign and.
We are still waiting for that one person, okay.
And then I'm
Do we
listed
have to
as
take him out to the woodshed? What's the holdup? It's not me, I know I signed.
No, not mentioning any names.
Everything she sends me bounces back and says it's not
Yeah.
valid.
I've even tried help. We're gonna try again after the meeting here to get it set up. And once that gets signed, then I have to sign it because I'm the temporary controller
Right.
right now. And then after that, I mean, you guys are open, you can make you can do any business with them right now. It's just that I have to do okay
It
it.
comes through you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But I'm
And
confused
that's
though.
just temporary.
Do we have to wait now? For Dan to get his cause now it sounds like you want some clarification before we move money over to Raymond James.
I want the board, I'm recommending the board contact Raymond James directly and let them know the rules of engagement, so that it's not just relying on you guys to figure out, there's another, we're taking responsibility for this. It's not on Mark, so if this person messes up, we can blame him, we have to take ownership of this.
Is that he is aware of that, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's.
in our meeting with him, and we've known Tom Pennels for a long time, that he
Go back to-
understood what our goals are, and that this is not, we're not looking to
To
strike a
go back
bridge.
to last month's meeting, excuse me, I mean, we basically said that that's not our responsibility.
To make sure that the funds are being managed properly.
Well, the fund is being spent correctly. How they invest their money and who they're using it with, I don't think is the treasurer's
No,
responsibility.
that's not what he's talking about. That's not, all right, so just to kind of clarify, Dan, and I agree with you on this. Looking at the statement provided to me by Mark, right, if you need to, it's in your packet from this month. He's provided his Raymond James packet, it shows different entities where his money is at. So as long as Erica's money or anybody else, Matthews or Lois's money is not utilized in the same funds, we're golden. If they are, then we're a problem. So that's the communication that we need to bring to him, so that way money's not intermingled in the same investment, like fixed income, like I'm looking here, like Bank of India, State Bank of India in New York, Washington Federal. Nobody else's money can be in either one of those two.
I think he made that clear in that meeting. Yeah, he said
Okay,
there's
if you
enough
made it
out
clear,
there.
then that's fine.
Yeah.
I won't.
He was very
Just so you
emphatic.
don't hear, I didn't know that.
Because that's what you're saying.
Writing.
If the board wants to reinforce that,
Right.
Share tax.
When it's too late.
I got it.
But John, no
Oh, no,
offense,
it's not
I don't
sure.
know.
He's gotta know you, well, actually, he knows that they share a tax ID because there's only one for them.
Just one point of clarity is good.
Absolutely, I think, yeah. And like I said, I'm fine doing it, I don't think you guys mind, I think but it's for everybody's mindset, absolutely, I'll make the call.
As long as it
Get
doesn't
something right.
delay ACH any longer.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor to accept John's treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Move on, East Lake Park Rex.
Move to accept the financial for August.
I'll second.
Any questions for Mark on financials? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Move to accept the director's report.
I'll second it.
Mark?
Yeah, the only thing that I really wanted to highlight is the expansion project out at the Meadows. We attended the Board of Adjustment and Appeals meeting for the Type 2 land use agreement. And so I felt like I was in court when I was going to get sworn in. But there were 2 neighbors that were opposed to it. But it passed 5-1. So we're finished with phase 1, we move on to phase 2.
And that's kind of the rezoning, the final site plan and engineering plan. So I'm getting the permits and all that stuff, so we're rocking and rolling on that.
Any questions?
Did you calm the neighbors?
Hmm?
Were you able to calm the neighbors' concerns?
Yeah, I think so, I talked to them afterwards.
Well, were sounding.
Yeah, they lived across the road, behind the 300-foot buffer with trees. And,
Who was there first?
See problems.
I believe, I don't know, to tell you the truth.
I'm sure, okay, you kinda get what I'm getting. You move next to an airport, don't complain about the noise.
Cows.
They have kids in the program.
Oh, perfect, look at that.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
They also have animals. There's lots of hobby farms and horse farms like along there. They worry about the noise and light spillage over and the extra traffic on that little windy road with no lights or sidewalks.
So that's big.
So,
How are the fields faring with more intense use on another subject?
about as well as they can be. Two of our fields are in pretty bad shape, but we try to move around the best we can. So this is really important that we could get some more fields there and possibly, being artificial turf too. So we'll see how that goes.
So now you got rougher football players, right?
Well, the other thing we'll mention is we're moving right along on our celebration, Deck the Rec celebration on December 13th, in combination with East Lake Library. We have another meeting next Tuesday, but we've already got our little goodie bags and ordered some promo items to go in there along with some flyers that we'll put out. Hopefully we can have some renderings like Lois has here of what kind of we're hoping it would look like. And we'll also have a survey in there about what folks in that area want for their recreational service.
All in favor of accepting Mark's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, back to old business, and it's the 2026 budget, fiscal year budget. Everyone had a chance to review it from last month. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the budget.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor to accept the fiscal year 2026 budget of East Lake Parks and Recs, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any new business, Mark?
No.
Moving to Palm Harbor Parks and Rec.
Move to accept the financials for August.
Second.
Any questions? Comments? All in favor of accepting the financials, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Move to accept the director's report.
I'll second.
So, a couple updates since I wrote the report, I gotta hurry and beat Mark's time. We attended the Florida Parks and Recreation Association conference once again this year. We had 4 staff members and myself attend. Probably one of the best ones I've been to since I've been director. A lot of great information came back. Too much to really bring up here, but one of the things is they have a new ABI tool, which is what we use every single day to prep the fields, the ball fields. It also can be used on turf, and so we're investigating the cost. So there was a trade-in on our old one, and hopefully that'll come before you, maybe next month for approval. We received our MSTU fencing that we talked about last month, and from what I understand, it was over the weight capacity that a little tractor would lift off. So I can't vouch for how many panels it was. Stephen, how many was it?
34.
34 panels that weigh 100 and...
It was 7,500 pounds.
Okay, so 5 or 6 manpower hours moved that all off the semi, and then today they were able to put up half of the field. It will be a very, very huge improvement to softball, baseball when we get to do more fields. But it's a pain to set up, and of course we had a lightning warning today for a while, so that slowed them down. But our website has been gone through by someone that the library shared with a resource with us, and we're going to meet with her next week to talk about it. And when I say the website's been gone through, we are now more ADA compliant than we've ever been, Andy. That should make you happy. So she is professional in this field and has gone through our website and I believe your website as well. So we'll get a summary from her. We did have the silt fence and tree barricades installed yesterday at the Sunderman area where that new 2,500 square foot building I've been talking about for I think 4 years is going to be built. And the permit was approved. The contractor sent me a screenshot of that permit today. So that means that the building permit, hopefully by Friday, will be in his hand. He has ordered the building. Unfortunately, I bet you guys could probably guess this. The project's coming in over what was projected 3.5 years ago, whatever it is. The good news is my great staff, management here and staff beneath them have done a fabulous job over the last 3.5, 4 years in helping me prepare to spend the extra thousands of dollars that it's now going to cost us. So it will come out of capital. There'll be no borrowing from anybody. I'm very happy to report that. And that is finally starting. I went on a special tour today with Mr. BJ Gavin, drove him around the 6 facilities and kind of wore him out, I think, in the couple hours we spent together. I'm sure he'll come up with some more questions, but it was a good time, a good question and answer time, and I'm glad that you made the time to do that with me, BJ.
Thank you for making the time.
My pleasure. I don't know if I said this before in a meeting, but at Harbor Hall, we're partnering with the Pinellas County Veterans Association to make us a Purple Heart town. And they put up a rendering. If you haven't seen it, please drive by there. I'm expecting a meeting with their 2 applicants. They have a couple questions. Probably not going to break ground. They were hoping to have it done this year, but it probably won't happen until after the first of the year. We've got that parade happening, holiday market, tree lighting. I don't want construction stuff in the way. So we'll talk about that with them. But it's exciting that Palmer will be on the map as a Purple Heart community. Had a meeting with the president of, you don't even know this yet, Mr. Advisory Board Representative, Celtic organization last night on my day off. But I do that for the good of the program. And they're very pleased with things that are going on. They had one little, they're worried about soccer shots, which they are every year because it's not their organization that has the littles. But one of the comments that I'll make sure the advisory board hears from me next month is right now, ironically, our fields are the best fields in their inventory. Seminole and Belcher and Largo have some major issues with their turf, and they're very happy with the program so far. Obviously, they've only been back on the fields a month, but they're very happy.
But I'll go out and say it because staff's here too. Staff has put the extra effort and the extra push and the extra hours and the extra time and to make sure that the fields are in the condition they're in. And I compliment you all on that tremendously.
Check back in February. It won't be as good, but
Oh no, it'll look like crap by then. The grass will be dead and everything.
Nobody
complains.
So I know how the Little League has worked with you guys to, make the fields nice as well. Are they, how is your relationship with them?
they contribute financially toward the replacement of sod. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Well, and more than sod, they the clay, the turfus or whatever, do you use that still or?
Are we talking Little League?
Yeah, Little League.
Yeah,
No,
turf.
she's talking
soccer.
I know Little League.
Soccer.
No,
A lot.
And
I'm just
I
saying
should
soccer.
give soccer credit where credit's due. There's a little meeting space, an old room, and that's where the tree fell on the roof and ruined the ceiling, knocked the air conditioning out, whatever. They have spent, some families have donated, and they've spent the last 2 weeks there tearing it up and rebuilding inside and to have their little area to meet. So they are investing in that complex as well.
And I'd like to say that soccer was very unhappy a few months ago, and Erica and her team got with the soccer people. They set up a committee to look at the condition.
Oh, that was like a year and a half
I
ago.
was gonna say, that was 2 years ago.
Well, it's working.
2 years of my life I'll never
It's
get back.
It's working.
It is,
I'm saying,
it is.
Because they feel like they're part of
Right.
it now. And
Yeah.
the unnecessary griping just kind of stopped because they're
Hopefully.
now part of the issue.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
I finally stopped getting emails on the sod committee.
Yes. I wanted to give Cindy some public kudos. Cindy's in charge of our programming, and she gave me this number last week, and I was floored by it. We have 32 out of 68 of our programs that happen at the facility that are brand new to us. So that is completely and entirely her hard work and her people's hard work, and I think our new social media, I say new, it's been almost a year, individual that's doing all of our, has helped our engagement, and things are going we have a CPR class in November that's almost full, a babysitting class next week that's full, and it's exciting to see that kind of growth in our programming. So that's a huge increase to programming. So kudos. And on that kudo note, Cindy had this great idea. She was full of them that week. it might have been conference week, she was inspired. So we all know about building 2 going away and being demoed, we're hoping at the first of the year. So we decided to move our Halloween carnival next month over to that building, we're gonna haunt that building. Cause we can do whatever we want, it's already haunted anyway. The library's participating, the Y's participating, so it should be a good show. But then we thought, well, after our Touch a Truck in November and our parade, tree lighting events in December, why don't we wreck the halls, kind of taking on the, wreck the deck or deck the wreck or whatever you're doing. So we're gonna have a couple of rage rooms available. Charge like $10 for 2 minutes to come in and smash the hell out of whatever we have in every room.
That's fantastic.
So those donations will go toward furnishings to the new facility. It'll be a last ditch, have a blast, wrecking the halls. So I say that to say, if anyone in this room has any old computer monitors or anything that you want that can be smashed, do let me know. I spoke to the fire chief. I have to, or actually I spoke to the president of the union. I have to speak to the fire chief. They've got some old Kevlar jackets that we could borrow because I want to make sure that whoever's smashing is protected. So we'll have them wear masks on, like either welding masks and or something like that. So it should be fun. I think it'll be a fun, I can't remember what day we picked, Cindy, do you remember? It's like a Thursday evening or something.
30th of December?
Something like that. But when we get closer, I'll let you know the date. But more importantly, save your garbage and we'll bring it next door and smash it in December. That is all. I think I exceeded 5 minutes. Sorry, Mark, but I had questions to answer.
Any questions for Erica? All in favor of accepting her director's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Now we move on to old business, which is her fiscal year 2026 budget.
Approved to accept the budget.
Second.
Any questions about the budget? All in favor of accepting Home Power Parks and Rec budget for fiscal year 2026, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any new business, Erica, that I didn't know about?
No, thank you, Dottie.
Okay. East Lake Library.
Move to accept the financials.
I'll second it.
Okay.
You've been
Questions?
consistent, I like it.
All in favor of accepting financials for August for East Lake Library, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Move to accept the director's report.
I'll second that one too.
I think, our biggest thing this past month was the Passport Fair. We did maintain a little bit, more of a calm atmosphere since we required appointments, rather than walk-ins, but we still, although we didn't, get anywhere near what we made at the first Passport Fair, because that was crazy frenzy, lunacy, we are now, we did manage to net, over $1,800 for the one day, okay? And, we will be doing it again in, 6 months, so, we will tweak it so that it's that much better. But, again, my staff, it's amazing in that they're able to take this on along with their other responsibilities.
Do you have continued revenue on that?
Oh, yes, it's reached over $50,000 a year,
Nice.
okay? Which is
Fines, who misses them?
Okay, well, and that's what started the whole thing, so, we also have the fingerprint services, which last month, by the way, in August, we broke the record, my staff did 58 fingerprint appointments. Now, it's not a big moneymaker because of the 58 appointments that we had last month, 52 of them were school volunteers. And we charge practically nothing for them because they self-pay. And for us, it's more providing a service and bringing people into the library than making money. We do make the money on the passports, though. There's no doubt about that.
Do you know how many fingers?
All 10. All 10. Okay. We also are working towards something that I would like Anne Marie to talk about. We have been very fortunate in that this year, for the first time since 2017, the state legislature is considering opening up the state library construction grants for the next legislative session. And it couldn't have come at a better time.
Right.
So Anne Marie, you want to talk a little bit about it? And she had the perfect opportunity to talk to the legislators on Monday when this room had 120 people in it.
No, it didn't.
Forum.
Eric,
Oh, yeah, well, Jason Gennaro was here.
why don't we approve your report? That's
No, both fire
under
chiefs
old
are here.
business. That's under new business. Can we approve your
Oh.
report and then go to that?
Okay, well, I was in the report too.
I know, just finish the report and then let's approve.
I'm done.
Okay.
Murder mystery. That's coming up.
Okay, all in favor of accepting Lois's director's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we go to old business, we have a motion to accept the fiscal year 2026 budget.
I'll make the motion.
Oh, second. Jeez.
Messed up, Frank.
I got a question about,
Yes, Dan.
Lois, do you know offhand the percentage of your revenue or the budget goes to staffing?
If you're including benefits as well as wages, it's almost 70% this year.
Okay. And
This
I think that's
upcoming year.
a decrease?
It's an increase. It was in the 60s, it was 63%, I believe, last year, okay? Because of certain situations, that arose this year, with the, with Susan Schuler leaving and for me to find a qualified assistant director, okay? It was necessary to pay someone more to get the best person possible. Also, the fact that we were able to take the money from the, property insurance, okay, that now is being paid for by the county. I was able to put that into merit increases for my staff, as well as putting it forward into the new fiscal year to be closer to local standards and what the other libraries are paying. I cannot keep good staff if I don't pay them, and I cannot hire new people if I don't give them a good starting wage. And I think I have an excellent staff, and they're all worth every penny, and I wish I could pay them more.
Any other questions on the upcoming budget? All in favor of accepting the East Lake Library's fiscal year 2026 budget, say aye.
Aye.
Now new business, state construction grant
Okay.
application.
So, we happen to learn that, they will be offering it again in the next legislative session. We have to go through an application process, which for us is a little more complicated because it is a county-owned building. So we have to go through the county as the owners to file the application. And you know how much bureaucracy is involved with to get a resolution, you go for the Board of County Commissioners. I cannot thank BJ enough for pulling this all together in record time. It is a phenomenal group from OMB, and if it were not for Anne Marie taking the reins on this and moving forward with the application. Fortunately, we did it once before when we filed an application, so it wasn't so much reinventing the wheel. We didn't get it the last time in 2017, but we had all of the documentation that we needed then, so it was much easier this time to complete the application. But I'd like Anne Marie to talk about it because she's taken the lead on this.
Good evening, Pixie Board. I don't have too much more to add, other than as Lois said, it's a very tight window, probably about 5 weeks from when the grant opens when it needs to be submitted. So thank you to BJ and his colleagues for really pushing it along at the county level. We had a lot of documentation already, but we've added some things to it, brought it up to mention all the fantastic plans we have for this building as we expand it. It's due October 10th, and we're gonna, I think, submit it right on October 9th or October 10th. It's gonna go right up to the wire. So we're very happy with the support from the county, from our citizens, and from you guys. Thank you.
Let's get that.
It's $500,000 and then it's matching funds. You have to have matching funds for it. So when we first presented it to the county, I made it clear that we weren't asking them for the matching funds. Okay, we have that, but we needed their blessing because they've been owners of the building. We have to go through the process all the way up to the Board of County Commissioners with a resolution. And you know how hard it is sometimes to get on the agenda. Well, BJ again worked his magic, worked with the staff, and we are on the agenda hopefully for October 7th, which is 3 days before the deadline, but we'll take it. Okay, I don't know if I have to drive up to Tallahassee myself, they'll get it, but it's been a wonderful collaborative effort from everybody. And she did the presentation to the two legislators on Monday night at the forum, okay? And all the people there were mostly there for the Ridgemore Bridge, but she did such a great presentation to them asking for their support that the whole audience applauded. So, and the first thing she said, of course, was, "You see, we need a bigger building," right?
I'll just throw ice here as well,
Oh,
so I just wanna confirm
Yeah.
that that definitely happened, and that both Lois and Anne Marie spoke very eloquently and represented the library and PHCSA as a whole expertly.
And we have it on tape that Senator Hooper said this library has long been underfunded from different sources, and that we deserve this money, so.
And he also said that Senator DeSiglia from South
Yes.
County is on the committee that drives this, so we're gonna work with that. But he said, and I know where it goes if it gets past that point, which is his desk, because he's running the whole appropriation
Right.
bill.
Right.
And he didn't say that like I'm gonna have problems deciding what I wanna do. I mean, he made it clear that if it gets that far, he'll pass it, so.
And we did engage our
we have to
PHCSA
get-
liaison
we have
to
get
assist
the
us,
Siglia lined
because I
up.
figured that's what he's for,
That's great.
right?
Go.
Congratulations.
Good usage of.
On the submittal.
If only there was a question.
Now he's gonna get it.
The next thing is a letter.
One real quick.
Oh, sure.
Because I'm into astronomy. Congratulations on the Smithsonian.
Isn't that
Oh.
amazing that
That's
I
pretty cool. The only one in Florida.
yep.
Oh, say that if everybody got a chance
Yes.
to read it.
Yes, Harvard Smithsonian, it's an astrophysicist they're working with, and it's middle school students, where they're gonna do this program, that, somehow they program remotely these big telescopes, okay? And take pictures of different areas of the universe, of the sky. So it's incredible what they're gonna do, and our kids are gonna be doing it, the Eastlake kids, so we're very proud. We also are able to expand the program to have a visiting astronaut come. Okay, she's been here once before. Oh, I can't remember her name. Michelle Stott. Okay, she'll be coming in January, and she has a very tight schedule. She goes back and forth to Washington DC, working with NASA. So we're doing a lot of things in this little library. I'm really proud of the team that I have.
The next thing we had on new business is a letter of support as part of the grant. You all get to read it, it was in the package.
We asked both the foundation, since they are, doing the endowments and a lot of the matching funds, for the project. And then we thought certainly the PHCSA board, because even though the owners of the building are the county, and you are our governing board, we certainly want the state to be aware that you are supportive of this project and that you're supportive of this application. So I ask if you would consider lending your support, okay, and have a letter signed and include that in the package, even though it's not required. I think it goes a long way. Yes, it does.
Do you have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the board approves the letter supporting the Eastlake Library's grant.
Second.
Questions about the letter? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have a
Oh,
copy of
because I wrote on mine.
Okay, well, take that down for the sign. Thank you. And thank you all, and we will certainly keep you updated as to how we're doing moving forward. We do have a meeting tomorrow morning, for the first time with the county architect, Jim Llewellyn, so we're very much looking forward to that.
Thank you, there was lots of good information.
Thank you.
Okay, Palm Harbor Library,
Move to accept the financials.
Second.
any question about the financials for the library for August? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Move to accept the director's report.
Second.
So just a few updates. Summer kind of wrapped up early in August. Went through August, but the summer reading focused activities. One of the culminating things was the carnival, and we had a sort of record-breaking attendance of over 500. So that was really exciting, and also raised a little bit of money for the library. We also did a themed month with events centered around the author Marjorie Kennedy Rawlings, and we got a little bit of funding from the NPR Society, so that was nice and well attended. And then our average attendance for summer was pretty strong. I'll echo my colleagues in saying the staff bust their butts over the summer big time, and you can just see the smiles walking in and out of the doors every day. enjoying library programming. It's really inspiring. Let's see. Just a reminder to our board that September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month. So please, if you don't have an active card or if you've not renewed yours in a while, you want to check on that, please do. And encourage your friends, family, neighbors, including kids, can come in and get a library card and can get a free book and a picture and all that. So please do encourage them to sign up. Also, if you haven't been in a while or if you've never been, the Palm Harbor Museum does a monthly talk over at the Palm Harbor Library because we get the space for it and it's a great partnership. And so we've got, I just mentioned a few of those coming up here. It's the first Wednesday of every month in the evening. And Nancy McKibben, recently retired Nancy McKibben, is going to come do a talk in December. Let's see here. Also in the sort of realm of expansion, although we're more in sort of the dreaming stage because it was a strategic plan objective that's been in our books for a couple of years that we're just coming to the time frame for to think about future renovations and expansions. I applied for and received sort of some pre-consultation from a big architecture firm that will include some training, some guidance, possibly some sort of early visualizations that can kind of help us decide how to go about that. And there's a lot of different things that can be done over the future, but some of that expertise, design expertise, is not something that I have, with the exception of specific projects that I've done over my history in libraries. So I'm excited to get that free expertise and in kind of exploring all those avenues. Again, I'll echo my colleagues and say that BJ has been very helpful in doing all that, really trying to understand exactly what that process might look like in the long term, because it is a long-term thing. And so thanks very much for that, BJ.
What are you planning on doing with the extra space?
Well, we don't know yet. I mean, it's very early on. I think the focus on art and historical resources, which is a relationship we already have with the community, is something that would stay in the forefront. But also, because of the way Palm Harbor is set up, the building is often a go-to for people in terms of meetings and trainings, but we're not really set up for being able to do that way to the community exhaustively. So we have a community room just like you've faced limitations here, Lois. That's 124 is the specific occupancy limit for a community room. But the fact of the matter is, it could be used multiple times per year by us and by other people, where really we probably much more beneficial to have like 500 or even 900 or 1,000 or something like that. And we also could be potentially a site for emergency operations if there was ever like a distribution center needed, or recovery or storm shelter. There's a lot of possibilities there, and we're just at the beginning of that process, figuring out exactly what is it that we want to provide as a library, and also what is it that the community needs. We don't really have a handle on all that yet, but we have ideas. So, we'll see.
Not to jump in, because I've been employee of both libraries. The difference with Palm Harbor Library, even though it's 3 times bigger than ours, is that you can't build on that building. The way it was constructed, it cannot sustain a second floor. So probably that building would have to almost be raised.
Probably, yeah.
And that's a big project. So it's such a shame because, it was a grassroots effort and they did what they could at the time to bring a library to Palm Harbor. And that was Jeanette Maloof, and, many years ago, it was and very much like here, a grassroots effort that created that first library. But I remember times when we'd have to run out the back of the building and stop the kids from taking with their baseball bats and swinging and hitting stones into the building, and they stick because it's like styrofoam. So there was really no strong, substructure there for that building. So that's why it probably cost that much more, because they probably have to raise the building.
Yeah, even a simple expansion of just the meeting space, although that's not ideal because that goes into the green, space, the garden that we have there. That'd be a real effort. And it has been renovated before, but there's only been one expansion. It went from 15,000 to 26,000 in, from 1988 to 1984. And that was, so that was 30 years ago. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it depends on what the community needs. It depends on what we're able to identify among our partners in terms of what would make the most amount of sense for the area and for what we think we can provide. I think that's it for me.
Any further questions?
I wanted to applaud your writers group that you have there
Oh, yeah.
weekly. I have a friend that recently just got published with her first book with a huge publishing company. And she did your class and so if you guys wanna look into a rom-com
Yes.
to read, I will pass these around to everybody. But
My daughter once took that class and
it
loved
came
it.
out of that class that you guys have.
And now she's gonna come back and teach that same class.
I'm sure she would.
Yeah.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
No,
She didn't tell me yet, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
We'll have to tell my daughter.
She helps with my kids, our kids' school as well. They do like a club, a writers club.
Oh, that's
They
right.
did that last
That's
year,
right, yeah.
so she's really good at that. But
Yeah.
she loves doing it. She loved going to that class.
So that class is sponsored by our friends at the library. They pay for it.
Yep.
And she actually came in to speak to them about it, about the importance of the program.
Yes.
And I had no idea that you had that friendship. That's amazing.
Congratulations to her, it's not easy.
I know.
Any other questions? All in favor of accepting Matthew's director's report from Palm Harbor Library, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, to old business.
I move to accept the budget.
I'll second.
Any questions about the budget for the Palm Harbor Library, Dan?
Same question, do you know roughly what the percentage is on staff versus staff?
Like Lois says, this current fiscal year is about 63% of what was budgeted. For next fiscal year, we're projecting 65%.
The reason I bring that up is because all three directors that have staff have complained about the ability to retain staff and hire new staff. And one of the solutions that the East Lake Library took was to increase the budget, a line item for staff, and it seems to be working. We haven't got that pushback from the community. The staff like it, so that may be the solution is allocate more money to people. Just as
I like it.
You didn't ask me about my personnel line. You don't like me, just like the libraries? I'm feeling
I can only
discriminated
compare you to-
against.
What's your percentage?
46%. Thanks for asking, Erica.
You have one.
And you keep them there.
You just already commented on that.
But what is it?
You gotta get up to 46% of your budget.
Oh, that's good.
That's
That's a nice raise.
Back, let's
You're welcome,
let's
Mark.
get her budget approved. This is Matthew's budget, sorry, hopefully they can be all confused. Okay, any further questions on the budget?
On the budget, I just have one question. It said vehicles. What are the vehicles used for?
We just have one vehicle, library vehicle, and it's used usually like we're traveling to meetings or that kind of thing. We also participate in through Meals on Wheels, which is through the Neighborly, and we do that once a week. And if there's some official thing where the library vehicle needs to show up as a part of an outreach, it'll oftentimes go to transport staff.
It'll be a touch a truck.
I was gonna
It
say,
was
touch a
last
truck,
year.
it'll be,
Halloween,
Halloween.
tree lighting.
Also, it's a little bit larger than a lot of staff vehicles, so if we have to lug something somewhere, they can be used for that usually. Not heavy lugging like some of our rec partners people, but
Not 7,000.
we've had it for about 7 years. So 2018.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor of approving the fiscal year 2026 budget for Palm Harbor Library, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Under new business, we had Strickland issue, but I think we covered it. Does anybody need to cover it any further? Okay. Covered it.
I think what you wrote in your report is perfect
Yes.
on that, by the way.
Is that not- okay.
Yeah, no,
All right, liaison report. You got the report?
Liaison. No, what I said before.
Okay. Okay, so do we have,
We did, I think we did that. Didn't we do that the last meeting, we said that your report, we did it the same way we did direct. So I think the answer is
Okay.
yes.
Do we have a motion to
Move to
accept?
approve the
Thank you.
liaison's report.
Any questions? Yes, Dan.
I guess the question is more to the board, right? Rob, take a shot at it if you want. The question is, what's next? Rob, in this position, considering the project has now come to fruition. Are you ready?
Get a week off.
Get a week off and
And so I just want a little history on like how it came about, why was this position needed, wanted? Cause I don't know that I got that explanation yet.
So Eric, it started with, the original idea of that position started under Jean, the library. We had the community group, the long-term.
Attention, time is now 7:35 and the library will be closing in 25 minutes. In 10 minutes, the Book Nook, Blink Cabinet, Public Computers, New Car Registration, Teach Video Games, and Children's Play Area will be closing. Our hours tomorrow are noon till 8 p.m. and the library will promptly close its doors at 8 p.m. Thank you.
The long-term planning committee, and at the time I wasn't chairman, I was on the board, I was on the committee, Jean was on the committee, Erica was on the committee, a lot of people on it, there was CN, I think was on the committee, and you were on the committee, Lois. Mark, were you on that committee too?
Which one?
The long-term planning with
Yes.
Jean?
Yeah, all the directors.
All the directors, and then there was, the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce. So within that big package is where this position kind of got expressed. And it evolved, because nobody really quite knew what, and it's still evolving. So at one point, we changed it to a liaison, and it was something, what was it before, I forgot, something.
I thought it was always a
I think it was
liaison.
always a liaison.
That's it, yeah.
It was in a lot of minutes.
Yeah, it was in a lot of minutes.
Started like managing.
Yeah, it was something about management.
Oh.
Oh, I just remember saying, well, Nancy's our liaison, why
That
did
was before Lansing.
And it's for extra oversight.
what?
It was kind of, it evolved, and so we, as a,
I've only been here a little over 2 years.
no,
What the purpose?
during the, long term. When we did that committee.
I think it took 2 years.
Yes, no, Nancy was on that committee, you're right.
I was like,
remember seeing a picture,
I thought she sat on
Yeah,
there,
you're right, you're right.
where is it in the procedure book?
Oh,
No,
I
I'm just
know.
kidding.
So it kind of, and then the board we kept taking it, molding it. And so that's kind of how it grew, and we eventually decided on this liaison with the job description, contract position we had. It's been a work in progress throughout the time. And one of the things we had talked about was, the board doesn't have time to go to all the meetings. So we got somebody else going, letting us know, projects like we just did, that kind of evolved.
Having a presence.
Hmm?
Yeah, having a presence.
And a presence, having, like they did this book, that wasn't necessarily, it just came about, the board said, well, okay, we'll give this project to our liaison. That's kind of how that, isn't that how the book came about? It wasn't necessarily the original thought process. But, so it's been kind of working its way through. Is that accurate? Yeah.
I mean, I think in addition, from a history standpoint, we used to have a problem with friends in fix and having a disconnect. That was also part of it. So that we would have somebody that would go to the friends meetings and be able to report back to the board what's going on. Because communication, we had several issues that arose that got pretty dicey. And that helped out that process.
And it's paid for by
All
all three, the, so it comes out of your guys'
Oh, I see.
budget. Okay.
Just kind of like,
I didn't think it did.
It's not at the top.
I'm not getting it, I know.
To me, Eric, I think one of the main frustrating, when you look at the individual, we're all volunteers on this fixing board, even though we are trying to stay engaged as much as we can. you know, it's nice to have a guy or a liaison that we can say, go to the VOC meeting or wherever it may be and give us some feedback.
Right.
Because again, everything's recorded, but yet again, if something comes up quickly, budget or something like that, we need to get that communication a little faster. And to me, speed is really important in some of these things. And how can you support every meeting? I'd love to get more of to the more advisory board meeting, but I haven't been to a lot, guys. So, just besides my own, you know what I'm saying? I just, I need to tag along with some.
Well, we kind of jumped into old business for the agency. If you want to approve his report first and then keep going. So, Ron's report, liaison.
We have a motion and a
We
second.
have a motion and a second.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
already have a
do.
motion.
All in favor of
Okay.
accepting the report, say aye.
Aye.
And then we still keep going because this was actually the next thing on the agenda.
So Ron,
Employment contract.
Could we go back to his question?
Yes, now, that's what we are.
What's next? Sorry.
She was bringing us up to
so
speed.
what is your view of what you should be doing now that you've been here and you've done this for a while? Now, because before you were like, hey, I'm new, what do you want me to go in that room and watch? Okay, I can do that. You've watched, you've listened, you've gathered information, you've worked hard with Bill. What do you think you could do to add value in that position?
Here's what I think the value that has been added up to this point, and that's the place to start. I think because nobody goes to all the meetings, more of the meetings than I do. And so I get to go to Lois's advisory board meeting, and they do business their way. And I go to Erica's, and they do business their way. And I go to Matthews, and they do business their way. And they're all different. But when you get done, there's the kernel of this is what we're doing, and I'll admit, based on what John told me last month, that I need to do more of that. But what I think I bring is a universal view of what is happening out there. And I also don't have an entity that I'm favoring because I belong to everything and belong to everything. And I think that's been important to fix it overall. And even the whole, not so much the book and the work that Bill and I did, the idea came from us all talking about the cooperation that we need to do and want to do. And I believe that I facilitated some of that in the Times. Subject always to, you can always do more, you can do better, and if you read my report that I sent late again, sorry, is that, I'm waiting and ready to take additional direction if the board decides it wants me to do this instead of that. I'm ready to do it. But I'd like to think that in the 2 years, I've sort of become a part of the team, an integral part of the team. And just me showing up at a meeting, I think is important. I certainly feel that way when I go to Lois's Friends of the Library, as Andy mentioned. I mean, I don't vote, most of the time I don't talk a lot, but sometimes I do, and when I do, it just seems like it's helpful because they think I'm not representing FICSA, but it's like FICSA cares about them and that FICSA has somebody there to listen to. I feel that at many of the meetings that I go to.
And I think from a continuous improvement standpoint, this was John, I think, was forward on last session. How do you report out, again, how do you summarize the different meetings and really share some of that information in a timely manner to everybody? And how, to me, that's kind of that next step. I mean, I know you've been swamped up at this point in time, but really it's what should that look like and how do we communicate that and what is the best vehicle, just can't talk to Sandy with it, you know what I'm saying? It's how do we share that across the board? And maybe it's just through the liaison report on it, maybe it's as simple as that, I don't know, but I mean, that to me
An
needs to be
improved
further.
liaison report would be a big step for the next cycle, that's for sure. If you're talking about goals, like you've asked the directors to set, that would be mine if I were gonna pick what I need to do more of and better of next year or next cycle. And that would be to, yeah. And this is not an excuse, it's just a thing. When Deborah and I started working together on this, I wanted to do the report from the last meeting to the next meeting. She said, no, you gotta do it for the month. So when I start writing it, I'm 2 weeks past and moving on to whatever's coming up next. And so it's a little confusing for me because I'm just a poor country boy.
You're looking more for like a template or something like that.
Well,
And that's fine, I mean,
I
that's
used the same
absolutely,
template
yeah.
that the directors used because that's what we had. And you might have noticed that a couple in the last 2 or 3 months, sometimes it's changed that and it's just one long sheet talking, mainly because I was talking about the project. But the point is, I think in the last 2 years, and not because of me, but because I've been here and I've seen it, I think we're doing a much better job of working together. The 4 entities working together and the board finding new ways to go out and support the entities when it's important and needed. And one of the complaints, I want to use the word complaint, one of the complaints when Gene left was that nobody came out to support him. Well, I think if that same thing happened today, there would be a totally different reaction from the board and the directors to help and support a director that might need that kind of additional support. I just feel like it's a better climate than it was a couple of years ago. Not because of me, but I've experienced it because I've been here and been part of it.
One thing I'd like to see in your report is BOC, right? Every commissioner gives what they've done for the last month's meetings they have attended and that kind of stuff. That's what I'd like to kind of see that you attended and what you're bringing back, right? So you did attend the directors meeting, you did great, you know, you discussed grant writing, we'll work with Mark on the Board of Adjustments. We'll attend your advisory board meetings, reclaim water supplies changing, that kind of stuff. So that's information that I look at from you. When you go to these meetings, what value are you bringing back? And that's really it. Initially, there was discussion on a position, not you, the position, because we already have 4 liaisons from the advisory boards here. And there, it was looked upon at that time, they're the ones who should be bringing information to us. And then, anyway, so the position was created and that was tasked with that position, so yourself. That's the kind of stuff I want to see in the report, to see that that's what's going on. BOCC, I mean, I watch them, you know, on my desk if I happen to be in the office, you know. So what is bringing back that's poignant to Palmer to fix it, really? That's what I'd like to see.
And maybe that's in the form, is that, you know.
Exactly, absolutely, we can.
This directorors meeting and then.
Bill, we can create easily a template, structure that report, yeah.
We can.
You and I are thinking the exact same thing on that.
Let's get together.
Yeah.
We structure that and we just.
It makes it easier for you, because then as you do something, you go and you update it, and then boom, boom, boom.
If you read my report this time, I said, hey,
Right here.
Yeah.
I need to know what the mission is. I said, you tell
That was
me
your
what it
last
is,
line.
make it happen. I'm good at it.
I don't know if this is my place to say, because we were talking about, you know, from the fix of board perspective, but when Ron came on, I thought of him more as, you know, taking global perspective, because so many times we're each busy with our own entities and the representatives are busy with their own entities. As we move forward now, and we talked about this at my advisory board meeting last week, was that I feel comfortable going to Ron, knowing him for these last 2 years and saying, okay, can you help advocate for us? Because I know how busy the Fix-It board members are, like you say, you're all volunteers. So I could say, there's a CNCN forum on Monday, can you come and, you know Ed Hooper, you know Adam Anderson, maybe you can talk to them about this construction grant and get their support. So that's, I think, that's a key part, when we start our capital campaign also, that he has those connections with certain people in the county and such, knowing people with all of these years of experience. So, that connection with the county, whether it's the Board of County Commissioners, whether it's local legislators, whether it's people in the school board, whatever. So I think advocacy is an important part of his job, to work as an
Well, and
advocate.
it benefits you guys too, and I guess if it's coming out of your budget, it better benefit you a little
Yeah.
bit too, I would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Ouch.
I approached the advisory board asking them, should we get rid of Ron or not? And I meant it as, should we get rid of the position, and then once we figure that out, should we get a different person for the position? And we had a candid conversation, we missed that. Some of the interesting points were that there are 3 different stakeholders here. Lois was big into the advocacy. I
There's
watched
4
someone-
stakeholders, stop forgetting poor Mark.
There's 3 stakeholders. Lois is a stakeholder. The directors are one stakeholder for this position. And Lois wants him to be an advocate for the directors. Hey, I'm going to the county, can you come along? So the directors can use this position for that. But he reports to this board. So I said, that doesn't seem appropriate for Lois to ask him to do that without getting power the way it's structured now. The advisory board didn't see too much value in Ron because we're doing our own thing. They liked him coming to the meetings to keep me in check. Because, he would bring up things that I didn't bring up. Mainly because I didn't think it was important. But that's my opinion. And I'm not gonna bring up bad things, right? I should, but he's there to balance. So the advisory board gets value from him being at this meeting and I'm going to our meeting so that I don't miss it. And Lois, the director, doesn't miss it. But then as board members, I would expect the 4 entities, the 4 board directors that are they're the 3rd stakeholder. You guys, or this board, should be really into getting him to help this board, especially if you're not at this advisory board meetings, and getting what's going on. Give me the pulse, because Dan's a little shady. He's not telling us the truth, right? It's more about what can we do to work together. I would love for Ron to come and say, you know what, the Palm Harbor Parks and Rec Board is struggling with this, or they're doing this much better than you guys. You guys should be working together on a project. That needs to come out.
Well, it's
So-
also, we can't talk to each other, so we can't,
We
I
can't
can't
talk to each other
discuss
about
what-
things we're gonna vote on.
yeah,
But-
but go to an advisory.
But I don't have
meeting,
enough
that
time
might
to
help.
go.
That's the point that you're hitting the nail on the head, because when Bill said, well, I'm gonna have to go with Ron to some of the advice, you really can't.
Well,
Because-
no, I.
No, but I understand what you're saying, but we can't go to, so that's what he's there,
No.
to take the temperature.
You can-
Well, you can attend,
go.
Andy, but there's always that,
Be in the room.
You just can't be engaged.
Yeah.
You just
That's
can't,
okay.
you just can't.
but you take the temperature of that. If I start talking about
Well,
fixing
you
things at the
can't
meeting.
go, because you obviously will say something.
I'm at my own advisory board meeting, and I've got Bill sitting across the room, okay? I might start talking about FICSA and some decisions that we need to make, and I give my opinion.
And you don't want to have.
He shouldn't be hearing that.
Right.
No matter even if he doesn't say a word, he's hearing it. And
Well,
therefore, he's getting my take on it prior to the meeting.
Yes, I mean, yes.
I mean, it's a fine line,
But
but
if there's no crosstalk.
But if you're not an advocate, I mean,
bottom line, it doesn't matter. That's what the position's supposed to be. I agree with you. He's supposed to be taking the temperature of that advisory board and then coming back and reporting, because like you said, we're gonna say the good things, we're probably not gonna bring up the bad things.
but it's not just reporting, I'm sorry. He's supposed to also be able to say, come to this board and say, there's a misunderstanding, right? They think X, Y, and Z, but that's not true. You guys, this is what's going on. Well, how do you want me to direct that? That's a key part.
Well, I don't wanna see us get to the point where we ever have an advisory board of an entity that has no trust in PHCSA. We were there.
Yes, we
at one point, so I don't wanna see that again. And that's what that position is supposed to help us stop.
Which is hard to quantify in a weekly report. So the three different stakeholders are pulling him in different directions. But it's ultimately this board that has to decide, what do we want him to do, which is why I said, what's next? And maybe it's we get him to focus on whatever project we think is most important, named to East Lake Rec. Just be the bulldog on this next state, phase 2 is it called? Just go out there and harass everyone at the county level about phase 2. Obviously you're gonna get BJ's here the whole
I
time.
was gonna say, I'm gonna go sit in BJ's office until he gets the answer.
I would prefer that than any other project
And
that
he'll
we might come up
trespass
with.
you.
Dan, to your point, I would not have asked Ron to do anything, 'cause
Right.
he's under contract with you.
Right.
He's not under contract, I wouldn't want you asking my Taekwondo instructor for something, because she's under contract with us, so I didn't feel comfortable with that.
Right, and we never gave the direction to the directors to say, hey, what do you need from, well, we say, what do you need from us? It's understood, but now we have like, hey, Ron's sitting there, he's got nothing to do. Next meeting. I mean, really, we got nothing to do. We haven't given any direction.
Well, he kinda has that direction on attending the meetings and reporting back. Yes,
Right.
but does he have a project? No, not yet.
Right.
That's the key. But it's listed out in his contract as to what meetings he goes to.
The question was, does he go to the director's meeting, and we weren't even sure about that.
We found that in the contract.
It's in the contract that he goes to the directors meeting, which is the meeting with the directors and BJ.
No.
Hold on, let me finish before you say no, because we talked about this last month. The contract said the directors meeting, which was with the county. Then you are allowed, or you're invited, correct, to your individual meeting, or was that not happening?
I don't think that's happening, no.
Okay, so.
Because it's not a director's meeting.
It's not a director's
We have a
meeting.
staff meeting
It's a
with
staff
our
meeting,
three
okay. So,
shared staff people.
so that's where the confusion is that, again, as we discussed, now, thank you for reminding me, you don't go to Erica's staff meeting and Matthew's staff meeting. Mark doesn't have staff other than the cat, or Lois's staff meeting, Mark's not even in the room, for Lois's staff meeting. So why would you go to a staff meeting that they're having with their employee?
Because the director's meeting was not a staff meeting until the last few weeks.
No, the director's meeting is with the county liaison.
And
That's
it's
the
always been with our
director's
fix
meeting, it's always been
It's
that.
always been with our fix it staff. When it was Deborah, it was our fix it staff. It was Deborah and Iris.
Right.
That was not, yeah, it was just you four, right?
With Nancy and Deborah and Iris, we had that meeting. We've had that meeting for years.
Oh, but I thought you had said at one point, like, why is he coming to just talk to just the four of you or something?
It was
I thought
their
you-
shared staff meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one that they were saying
Oh,
it's not
okay.
necessary.
Okay.
Right.
Because they're just doing administrative stuff
Right.
as to how they're directing
And
that
I think
issue.
that's clear, right? You're not to go to
Never.
But
that. I
he-
think it's clear, I think it should be.
It should be clear he's
Because that's
not,
the way the
because that's not the director's
Contract
meeting.
says anyway.
Right.
But it also says just those meetings. So Ron shouldn't be going with Mark to any meeting with the county.
Well,
Because we haven't told him to do so.
Right, unless you give the authority to allow him to,
Well,
or
it's
allow people
actually-
to have that.
It's good that, Ron, you're attending the meetings that we have with BJ because, there may be meetings that it would be useful for you to go along, or maybe something that BJ doesn't want you to come, yet because something has to be worked on or information has to be, maybe might not be ready for that. For that extra layer of advocacy, if the board approves you to do that role. And so that, you attending that meeting is useful because it can probably keep BJ in the loop of what you're doing if you wanna talk during that meeting and share what you're working on, and vice versa.
So I got a question. So calling on that same theme for a second. See, the Palm Harbor Library has 3 councils. They have the advisory board, they have its friends, and they have an endowment. Do you attend every one of those? He attends the advisory council. I like what you're pulling on, because again, if you look at just the advisory councils, there's 4 of those meetings. There's 1 director's meeting that you guys share with BJ's meeting, whatever you wanna call that, and you've got the BOCC meeting once a month.
At least 2.
Whatever that
At least
is, 2, whatever. So that's a handful, that's 6 or 7 meetings that run from, a couple, 3 hours, whatever it is. Those are the meetings, and then the template will just give us an output of that. There may be projects that come out of that, which you're pulling on, based on what the needs are. BJ would like, or Mark would like this, or Lois would like this. I mean, then that could be a discussion by us to approve it to go to that next step, and this is the support you want from a project standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you guys need advance notice of what meetings that you're gonna want, so you can come
Yes, yes,
here,
yes.
and we know in the next 30 days, you want them to go to X, Y, and Z.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
That has to be a little more thought out process.
Well, that should be in the output of the template. This is what I attended. This is the opportunities, guys. You bring the opportunities here, and that's the approval that we would hopefully just.
Early on, when I was doing my report, I just cut and pasted off my weekly timesheet that I went to these meetings, and that included how long I spent at them. Because if there's a 6-hour meeting, I don't always stay for the 6 hours. Because I've been to.
Attention, the time is now 8 o'clock and the library is now closed. If you are not here for the FICSA meeting, please make your presence known as we will be leaving for the night. Thank you.
I've been to enough meetings, I can look at the agenda and know most of the time the things I ought to be watching and listening to and do that. So, like county commission meetings, sometimes I cut out because I don't get there until
After the
speaking or
public
talking
comments.
because I know about the water problem that Mr. Dennis brings up every meeting. So I
He's here for those?
Oh, God, yeah,
I get
he's
to see him in
everywhere.
Tarpon.
So I don't have to, and he nests in Matthew's library, so I blame Matthew. Anyhow, I'm just saying that, we can pick and choose, and here's my thing, from the beginning. Based on what I was told before I was hired and when I was hired and all of that directors' meetings were where I was supposed to be. I totally disagree with the characterization that it's a staff meeting, because that's not how we spend most of that meeting, in my opinion.
I'm like, how do you know? You're not there. I
Just
said, so I'm
about
like,
to say,
yeah.
Just about to say.
Well, that's a little bit offensive that you don't think we're telling you the truth.
Skip over.
Everybody protects their own territory, and I understand that. So if the board says, quit worrying about that, Ron, I quit worrying about it. I'll go to BJ's meeting and make you guys life miserable there.
I have a concern here. I understand that he is a 1099, it's a contract with PHCSA. But the directors are paying his salary, and if I see a benefit of having Ron, help the library by being an advocate for, a construction project or whatever, why is that? I mean, I don't feel like I'm doing an end run, but I mean, I just called him a few days before the CNC and legislative forum. I shouldn't do that. Here I'm utilizing somebody with his experience and background and skill that I feel we have a good relationship with over 2 years, to come and help us, one of the PHCSA entities, to promote, what our goals and objectives are with the construction project. Right? Is that doing an end run? Is that something that, the director shouldn't
You're doing it in
do?
the vacuum, right? So, I mean, you're not, I don't think you're doing end runs, but you're doing it on your own.
In the current structure would be an end.
Yes.
You can make
Right.
the position to be like, hey, if you call Ron and want him to attend fundraising event, then he puts that in the notes and you pay for his time for that out of your budget. But for the general split equal 25%, you shouldn't have a say over that beyond what we've already established. We could do it that way, I know it's a little bit of extra accounting, but that might, and because my suggestion is to help with the East Lake Rec project, because that's just something that I think is appealing, but the board might disagree, but maybe Mark says, yeah, I'll bring him on and pay extra for him to come to my county meetings.
But one of the duties of the liaison position, and I'm not just pointing it around right now, I'm just saying as the position, as the contract reads, to coordinate any PHCSA board projects as needed. work with FICSA board members, entity employees, county liaison, community members, and stakeholders to coordinate any projects. So with our approval,
So you direct.
we would direct Ron to work with phase 2.
Right.
That would be the current project, and then he would change up. But he does have his other things that he does need to do, which is attend the BOCC, to attend the advisory board meetings, and attend the other meetings attend this meeting, and then the director's meeting with BJ. So really, that's, what's currently in his contract. It was sent out, and I
Is
just.
he the max amount of hours in one month that we
What
budget for
hours
him?
That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, it was supposed to be somewhat fluid, like.
Yeah.
It was fluid, it wasn't, I don't think there was a
But is it 40
specific
hours a week or a
No.
month?
It was something like 25
A
a
month.
month.
month,
That's
yeah.
right.
I've not come close to that.
Because you don't go to the whole
I don't go to
county meeting.
I could fill the whole thing.
Stay at that county meeting.
Do it. But anyways, but kind of getting back to it, can we direct him to do that? Absolutely we can. It's in the contract. It's the other duties as assigned, as in any other job description other than for 1099 where it's a contract.
Okay, and every contract says and other duties as assigned,
Exactly.
and I consider that. I think it would be more helpful to the position, because, hey, I'm an old guy, and I'm not gonna do this forever. But for the position to not go project by project necessarily with the instructions, but if the report gets boosted so that it's more inclusive of what I noticed, then you can look at that and give direction and say, hey, you're wasting too much time over there, or we need you to spend more time over there. That makes more sense than to go, oh, Mark would like me to go to a budget meeting with him at the county, is that okay? You shouldn't have to make that decision on every single assignment that comes along. And I will say this, I'm not interested in that kind of relationship with.
You don't want to go to more.
I know, Mark's kind it's just, I don't want to be micromanaged and make that.
But let me ask you, are you being micromanaged by that? Because my understanding of, and I'm just thinking what you're talking about, is, let's just say Mark needs you and it's something that we don't have time, it's a special meeting or there's something came up that Mark didn't expect and doesn't have time to bring it here. Don't you want to have the ability for the directors to at least inquire and say, hey, can you help me out?
Right.
That is my point, that's exactly what.
A reasonable
So-
application of your time for each and one of the directors is fair. I don't think piecemeal. I think that then all of a sudden you're going out on your own and you're spending a lot more time with one director. But you have to be reasonable, and we need to give a reporting system that says how much time is being weighted to advocate Lois's position as opposed to the other end.
Yeah, because he's
That's-
pulled away
that's
from
my
other
point.
And then
entities.
you're focusing them on.
Right, and we're like, no, you're
And
gonna
then-
tell him.
But he still has his other requirements. that he has to
Well,
do.
so don't
His-
decide
his 20
because
hours a
they're
month.
they're
Well,
connected.
let's have one conversation, guys.
No,
One
four.
conversation.
No,
One.
Some like to view there for a minute.
so it sounds like seven,
What are you doing at home during the day?
so it sounds like 7 meetings is kind of what I'm hearing, so we've got 2 county meetings a month, we've got 1 director's meeting, we've got 4 advisory board meetings, right? So that's 7 meetings plus duties as
Plus
approved
this
by the
meeting.
board.
Here and
Plus
friends,
this one,
and
right.
friends meeting.
Well, that's the
Well, no,
friends meeting, I
Friends is
don't.
the advisory.
No, there's
You're
2
doing the
different-
Friends on top of the advisory?
Do we believe that he should be at the friends meeting?
It
though,
says
or just
advisory
advisory?
board meetings, it doesn't say anything about friends.
Right,
He's been doing it. Do you?
I
think it's
understand that.
valuable to continue that?
Yes.
Do I think it?
Yes.
It's, ask the director. That's the only one I.
I mean, every bit of information we can allocate from his position is great, because we're not gonna do it ourselves.
but
If
that's
he's out
4
there-
more meetings he's going to.
Right.
Well, no, not every
Versus
entity
working on
has a
project.
friends.
Oh, how many have friends?
2.
It's like-
Excuse me.
He's like friends, Erica, but I don't.
Erica got Friends.
Erica has a friend.
Erica's got friends.
I forgot.
Mine's a gold,
that's one of my
gold.
So friends.
Mark has.
The black cat or the gold cat, which one?
And the endowment, that's, no, we don't.
Well, I think what I was told on that one, if it's just the advisory councils, and if projects come up, if we're pointing where the focus of that project needs to be, what resources do we have? We've got the liaison, that's.
But the endowment one, I feel like the directors can bring us that information.
They do, but
That's
if we.
that's usually big
But if
project.
we felt there was $1 million coming in an endowment, blah, 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 from a certain agency, we may want Ron to go to that meeting.
Right,
That's all I'm
and
saying.
that would be something we would approve,
Right,
because
that's
it's
what I'm
not in the
saying,
normal.
go to that meeting, just
Right.
check what's going on there. I mean, that would be just a once, but I think the advisory councils are pretty much the standard. And then if you're reporting out what's going on, and Mark's got a lot of activities going on, we should discuss that, I would think, and then just, make your time available, I would hope.
Well, it seems like we're brainstorming.
Yeah.
But, if we need to kind of bring it together, do you all think we should push this to like next month and everybody come in with their ideas?
I think,
As a thought
I think Ron
process?
was saying that if he can give a more detailed report, and everybody can see what he's doing, that might help focus this.
Yeah,
I think that was his.
And I think the template, I mean, I would like to just take the time just to develop a
Absolutely.
template and put it as part of our, procedure, and this is what we'd expect. The next liaison, the next one, this is what we're gonna be following.
They just don't pull that together.
Not just for you, I mean, this is just what we would envision doing, but I mean, we can do that for next month, we certainly can.
I looked at the job description as it stands. Contract position.
That was like everybody.
And I don't think it needs to change at all, because the words and the language
Right.
is fine.
But he needs.
got-
He needs more direction,
Right.
so perhaps we just say, hey, next meeting, come prepared with what you think should be your projects, and we're gonna vote on it, or at least move forward.
From
Hey, I
what
just
you
have a
heard at
legal
these
question.
meetings, these are the projects I find most up at the top that we need to focus on, and I recommend to the board.
Because to me, always the key is gonna be reporting back what's happening at the different entities. Just getting a sense of what that cadence is, and based on that, this is where a lot of activities get spent in Mark's area because of phase two.
Okay,
I mean, I get it,
so we've come to a point. Erica, you have a legal question.
I just wanna, just because, for my own knowledge, we have a lot of independent contractors similar to Ron, where we contract with them, so I wanna make sure I'm doing it right. You mentioned micromanaging, and that's a concerning word from an independent contractor, from a legal standpoint, is it not, sir?
So to be a true independent contractor, where you're not covered by workers' comp or something along those lines.
Which he's not, correct?
That is somebody who you generally give, this is your job, and how they do it is up to them.
That's the clarity I wanted for his sake, for our sake. I don't wanna cross those lines for these guys either, listening to all
Let me
this,
just give
wondering
an
if we're doing it
example.
wrong.
And, because I think Ron said it, so there's a county commission meeting, and those go on forever.
Right.
But he only comes to handle
2
a
hours,
particular issue, which he determines which time to be there. That's an independent contractor.
Right.
Specifically you're going to the county commission meeting, and you're gonna sit there for 8
Beginning to
hours.
end.
Now you're not an independent contractor. We're directing exactly how you.
I just wanted to clarify that, because I don't wanna get into any trouble with him or any of our 35 independent contractors that we use.
Okay, so we've come to a kind of a conclusion that we're gonna redo the liaison report, so it's based more on the liaison job rather than a director's job, because it's really not the same. It's not really fitting. So I guess Ron, you're gonna work with
And then you're gonna take that information and determine what other additional.
and what other additional information that, so,
And we can bring it to this session next session, and just make sure everybody's okay with it,
we
right?
can all communicate with Ron, so if you have something particular you want,
Yeah, this
email it to him.
is a constant changing need.
right,
So you don't wanna, you can't put it in a box because it'll change. Here's something new to help out Mark with this. Maybe that's something needed at the beginning, maybe it's something needed in the middle, maybe it's something needed in the end. Maybe it's needed only part, and then there's something else that goes on. So this job is always, it's fluid and moving.
Kind of high level, you can't be
Right.
specific.
Right.
So I
You're
would-
only giving overviews.
so what I'd say is, if any of the board has something specific they want to see, email it to Ron, like, not like soon, so he'd be ready for the next meeting. With what, if this particular information you're looking for, that's in a general, that's a general concept, not details. And so like, you know, then he knows what you're looking to pull from. And that'll give him a chance, because like I said, as an independent contractor, he's gonna decide how he does his job.
Good.
Okay. You good? Move on. Okay, the next few things under new business that I put, they're all pretty quick, we should be able to hopefully, we can go right through this. I'm hoping this is just housekeeping.
Go.
Okay, starting with the storm prep, I did get a copy of, I sent it out to everybody. This may be just a simple question for the other directors. Does everybody have one? All the
I
storm
brought
prep,
mine.
she has hers. I'm just, the question was, I know.
I saw it on the agenda.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have one too.
We all have, and that was my question,
Are we
'cause-
supposed to have one on the
but, yeah, do we have some?
No, it's entity storm preparedness. You're gonna be preparing your house. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
But just, no, I just,
One
when I,
case of
we saw
Bud
one.
Light, one case of.
well,
One
because we
case.
have a copy of one, I just thought, let me ask if everybody has one. That was.
We have developed them over the years for our individual entities. They're all pretty similar, but, you know, we don't want it to be so generic that, you know, it's not always apples and apples, but we pretty much follow the same protocols. And of course, what's happening on the other side of the lake may be completely different than what's happening on this side in terms of making determination flows or whatever. The only new thing we've added to ours at East Lake is the tornado watch and tornado warning. And we put that in there just recently.
The only reason I looked and I had a copy of one, I'm like, well, I just wanted to make sure everybody got the copy. Yeah, that was all storm prep. November review workshop, this goes back to our plans from, we made our whole plan for the review, that we would have a workshop every November to look over the reviews, do a workshop on the reviews. So I put it down so that if we schedule it, it's a little easier for everybody than if we schedule it in October. So if you all wanna pick a date.
But I thought we had discussed that we would do it the Wednesday prior to.
That's what I thought, I'm
Yes,
just
it was a-
double checking.
No, that's what I remember, but we need to formalize it in our procedures too. That we had discussed to do it the week prior to the board, or our regular fixed meeting.
So that would be November 12th.
And that takes me out of an advisory board meeting, that's not.
Oh, it is at your advisory board the Wednesday before too?
Ours is the, yes, the Wednesday.
I thought we nixed that idea because of the two advisory board meetings that took
No.
place.
We did it Thursday last year, I thought.
Oh, man, that's right, we did move
We
it
did it
over
on
to
a
Thursday.
Thursday.
Well, that's what I just said, it needs to be updated in the procedures manual, Ron, I didn't mention that. It's right here, oh yeah, Ron, fill out the form.
Yeah, I was gonna
Red line
say.
it, get it going, let's make this happen.
But it'll take 2 weeks to get
I
approved.
looked at all the papers, it just said November.
These are quick items.
Supposed to be quick.
So, Madam Chair, I would say yes to the Thursday prior to our meeting would be my recommendation.
You don't need a quorum for a workshop.
Because we're not voting.
Because you're not
on anything.
voting, it's just information.
All right, so that way we don't have to, okay, so, Thursday, November 13th.
We'll celebrate with you.
We'll bring champagne, and you're bringing the
And my
cake.
husband's also.
Yeah.
Okay, so, anybody have that available, a room for us at that point?
I'm booked.
Checking.
This is nice out, that time of year.
Yeah.
Set the tent up and.
We have a fire
Yeah,
pit.
barbecue?
We have a fire pit.
The butterfly go.
I don't know.
Yes,
We have a room standing.
okay, so it'll be at the Palm Harbor Rec,
What time?
6 p.m., everybody keep the same time? Be consistent?
Don't look at me, I won't be there.
It's your day up.
Not Thursday. Tuesdays.
Oh, Tuesdays, I'm
Unlock the
sorry.
door.
Alright, so, okay, done.
Hey, I know somebody.
How long are you gonna be at that workshop? 3 hours?
Here, what is the date?
November 13th, 6 p.m., Palm Harbor Rec. And I will send it out. I will send out a note of that. Going through our bylaws. And here, I'm taking responsibility here. We do not have an audit committee, but according to our bylaws, we should have a standing audit committee.
I understand that.
We used to have one.
You did?
And we were supposed to have a, bylaws.
I got it
We can have a whole board can be the audit committee.
Why do we need a specific one?
You don't,
It says
the whole
in the
board can
bylaws.
act as the audit committee,
Right.
should an issue ever arise.
Why is it?
Yeah, but the audit committee is to assist the PHCSA board of directors in fulfilling its oversight. So,
We probably should just get rid of the audit committee,
Might as well.
because you can create committees at any time.
We just said we should have a standing
Then
committee.
I think we should take that under advisement and fill out one of those forms.
Yes,
Okay, someone fill out a form if you wanna replace it, that's fine.
okay, cool.
you can create committees.
Standard.
I can nominate myself to be head of the audit.
Okay,
But how big do you audit committee do you wanna make?
One,
Yourself, 3 to 5.
What's the bylaws say,
it
how
said
many?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
And it didn't say they had to be
Three times.
Right, it doesn't say that they have to be board members.
I just send that.
Read that. I would just send that.
But I do think the audit committee should be expanded, to include a review of our executive contract, including the auditors, the fixed liaison, and the board of council, just so that we're constantly.
Don't forget the accountant.
Just so that we could say, he's
I think we have a
overcharging us.
treasurer for next year.
Well, and they clearly said in the bylaws that, that the,
Yeah, well,
that it should be someone with financial background.
No, it makes sense for Dan to chair it, it's just how you wanna make up,
I don't want to
look at
follow
the
those
minutes.
rules, we gotta change the rules first.
yeah.
I got a form for you.
I think it's, what's it say, does it, who has to be on
Meeting
it?
3 times a
It had
year.
listed.
it just says committee shall be a permanent standing committee and shall hold at least 3 meetings per fiscal year. Members, hang on.
on a
Members
serious
of the
note,
committee shall be considered independent.
why don't
They
we
are not
just
to accept consulting, okay.
ask Dan to come back to us next meeting at the lateness of the hour, we'll go back and get into it. Why don't we let Dan come back to us next meeting with his ideas for the audit committee? I mean, I'm
We can
perfectly
amend the
fine with it, I
bylaws.
think Dan would be great to
Yeah.
run it.
Absolutely.
I think so too.
Fill out the form to do the audit.
Have at it.
Go for it.
And I'll fill out one before you put it back.
Oh.
And then I'll fill out one that.
Stop it.
Okay, so do you wanna work on that for next meeting?
I'm glad to see y'all are taking mine and Bill for it, so serious.
No,
These were referencing it.
No, did they?
That was the
No.
goal.
Okay, I
We're not
think-
taking it seriously, we're just referencing.
didn't get second. Didn't get second.
We don't need a motion.
We didn't, we don't have one, keep moving.
No motion, okay,
I heard them.
so we'll deal with that on next month, that's where we are. Just a note that in the November meeting, we have to elect new officers for the board. So if you're thinking you want to take over one of the officer positions, just a reminder, try to bring your information to the next meeting October, and then we'll vote, so that way they can make ballots for the November meeting. If there needs any further discussion.
Are we gonna have our new budget information all next meeting too?
It'll be online.
I think we're printing it out for people.
We'll print out, you ask them.
Yeah, Matthew will print one out once it gets finalized.
Okay.
Just the fixes.
But yes, so that would be nomination for officer positions next month. The next item quickly is the website. I've been working with Matthew on it, and we went through, there's a state statute that lists everything that should be on the website, and we're working through the process of making sure that the appropriate things are on the website. We're almost there.
Yeah.
There's a whole list. Matthew's getting them up.
Well, and we all, just so you know, we all worked together, the four of us looked at the list and then we dispatched Blake to get them.
And one of the things I suggested, and I'll say that Erica has already done it, but not all the websites, so we give Erica kudos. But on their websites, it started with the talking about the issues going to the county commission. Well, people don't know we're here. And, you know, if it was more visible on the entity website, people might be more apt to come here than go to the county commission. They don't know to go, I mean.
We don't want David
Well, that was-
Dennis Jr.
But just, and Erica, if you go to Erica's website and her About Us page, it very clearly links to the Fixer website. It clearly has all of the, you know, all of our names with our email addresses. You know, you can link right over. And I think that would be a good idea with the rest of the board. I thought it'd be good for all the entities to have the same thing on their, easily accessible from their website. Guys, I went through them and Erica, you did a great job. It looks good.
I wish I could say I did it, but
Well,
someone
somebody
behind
did.
me did it over there,
Well,
Trish.
it was done. It looks good.
That's
Thank
been
you.
up there, that's been on your website for a while.
It has, but Trish has updated and moved stuff around and it looks a
Okay.
lot better.
Yeah, and it just, you know. And we're just trying to get that to be in compliance. Matthew's been working with me on that. Team updates. You all got the team update? Here it is. Yeah, we sent it. Matthew had sent, I printed it, I know I did. Did you all get a chance to read it?
It was a fix a team update.
Fix the team updates, it was information.
Shelby Blake and Beth
Shelby
on their,
Blake.
like their monthly reports.
No, we sent it.
Yeah, you did.
And
I saw it.
It was brought up last month, and it wasn't necessarily formally requested,
Yeah.
but we thought it was a good idea, so we asked our employees to come up with something, and that's what we came up with.
I like it.
If you want like a quarterly.
And I just wanted to, you know.
And it was helpful to us too.
Report, yeah.
It was
There's
and
something you
Bill
all
brought
like,
that up
and
last
how
month.
often would you like it? I thought it was good too.
It's good for you guys,
Quarterly,
you guys
June,
hear
July,
it,
August.
it's good to have it in writing.
For sure, yeah, no, it was very nice.
Quarterly would be great.
I think one of these quarterly. I just wanted to make sure everyone got a chance to see it. They did a great job putting it out,
I thought it was great too.
what's going.
It's sort of like an in-depth FYI almost,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so you can see what's going on.
Oh, and I know,
One of those things.
hold on,
Dan was first.
oh, Dan,
New business?
Hmm?
You going on to additional business?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
okay,
So,
oh, go ahead, you go first.
well, I was just thinking about the director's reviews coming up. Beth already had the director's self-evaluation. So they also did a 360 for the staff. That went to the advisory boards, I believe, I don't know.
They did.
Hold on, 360. I would like Beth to make sure we each get the evaluation that we did. Because I don't know if she's gonna coordinate that without direction, she may not know it exists. That's the evaluation that we do on each of the four.
Right.
And I would recommend that she put together a quick evaluation of, so that we actually give him a formal evaluation after 2 years. We've not done that yet.
We
Do you
normally,
give evaluations to an independent?
I was gonna say independent contractors, we normally don't do,
No? Well, I think it would be useful.
Just
But-
to do it,
That's
Just
gross.
to become an employee.
that's,
That's-
I mean, you could do it a different way, I mean, you could call it something.
Right.
Okay, okay.
And I would be willing, more than willing to do it, so. Just call it something, right?
Just,
Contract negotiations.
There we go.
I'm
You could be part of the audit committee.
I'm thinking I'm never gonna get a raise if I don't get evaluated. That's what I've learned about evaluation.
We'll get you a stool to stand on,
You optimistic.
give you a raise.
Okay.
okay as it is.
I just, on a serious note, I want the board to be aware that, as you know, that there's been recent change in the law on open carry, and it does affect our facilities. And I want you to know that we are aware of that. We are working with the sheriff on how this is going to be addressed. There are some issues and concerns that I've already brought forward to the directors based on information that I've been provided. Because as you may know, I'm also the city attorney for Tarpon Springs and for Gulfport. We have police departments, we have to deal with these issues. So I didn't want anybody to think that we're not on top of this and we're not addressing it. We are. It's something that every day we're getting some new information, talking to the Attorney General's office, things that, to make sure that everybody's on board to protect individuals. On the same token, don't be surprised if the response you get from government agencies is something along the line of, we follow Florida statutes, we follow the opinion of the Attorney General, period. Because there's some things that have loopholes that there's concerns about that are not going to be necessarily broadcast. But everybody is working together on it. So I didn't want anybody to say, "Oh my gosh, what's fixed?" We are doing so. If you have questions, I prefer you would ask me individually. That's all.
Anybody, Dan? Anybody have,
I've got,
you had something?
go for it, cut somebody off.
You have the floor.
Last year, we did cost of living at this meeting. You know, because again, it's coming up first of October. DJ, I don't know what the county is going forward with the cost of living increase, but we had that discussion at this meeting and we approved it here for the staff.
Based on the county.
Based on the county. Now, I don't, and it was just what that county was.
So the county hasn't done it.
Right, they haven't done it, but it's a moot point, then we just get out of here, but I'm just offering that as we did it last year at this timing, so. Does the county have a cost of living increase that they're going forward with yet, PJ, do you know?
I don't know. On their website, it's proposed at 3%, but it's not been, I don't think it's been.
It's not proposed, I saw the
Yeah.
proposal. I think the final vote's tomorrow. So we have to.
Let's do it.
Will you be at that meeting?
Last year-
He's at the workshop.
Last year was prior to this meeting, that's what.
No, October.
It's always retroactive.
Yeah, okay. Very fine.
Dan had something, no?
Come on, Dan, you gotta have something else.
Okay, just double check.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
See, you did have
Thank you,
something.
everybody.